Welcome to the commentary booth, where we watch and you guessed it, commentate on the week that was in movies and TV. I'm your host and play-by-play commentator Jamie Apps, and each week I'm joined by a rotating cast of colour commentators to help you find your next viewing treat. This week I'm joined by a special guest, Pario Magazine's Victorian correspondent. Welcome to the show, Jason Hauth.
Thank you for having me. It's great to be here.
Perfect shirt there, prepared for potentially one of the biggest shows of the year coming up.
Yes, no, I'm definitely well prepared for this Thursday morning show for us. I made sure I am working from home that day, so I can watch this very well interrupted.
That's very smart.
I have my priorities straight. Yeah, that's it. I'm like, I don't want no one to come past and annoy me. Plus, also the guy I sit next to watches AEW as well, but he watches it on like several hours delay with his housemate. So it's kind of fun when I'm sitting there marking out to something, stomping my feet, and he's like, "What are you doing?" And it's like, "Don't look at my screen."
You'll find out in 6 hours.
Yeah, exactly that. Like, you try to contain your excitement and A, not to alert the other people in the office, and B, not to alert the guy that, you sit next to and talk shit to.
The one other person that would be annoyed at spoilers.
Yeah, basically, yeah. It's kind of he covers for me for when, I'm watching wrestling all day. So I try to not annoy him by going, "Man, how great is it that Paige showed up?" He's like, "I hate you."
What have you been thinking of the last sort of month of AEW shows recently? I think they've been absolutely killing it over this holiday break.
That they have, I wouldn't say finally, but they've definitely got back into their groove. I think after the whole brawl out situation, things went off the rails a little bit for them, and it just, you can tell it was like, oh shit, I wrote these shows out a year in advance, and now the big mega wheel has left. Uh-oh. And yeah, now feels like they've stabilized, and yeah, I'm honestly am really enjoying them. They have gotten just hitting everything perfectly.
Everything from Full Gear on has just been mental, and the crowds have been mental as well, which helps.
Yes, exactly that. Like, that really is the key part of it. And I think COVID era has shown that, yeah, the crowd are a very key point of most of these shows. Especially the ones that have just go nuts for everything. And good old Jeff Jarrett is back in the situation.
Oh my god!
Get to listen to wee woo,
some classic Jeff Jarrett booking the last week of Dynamite shows.
Oh, so that is the actual moment that I was referring to earlier when I was like stomping my feet at work. I'm like, holy shit, Jeff Jarrett just won the tag belts. It's so bad. Like, I would have messaged you going, F this. But at the time, I'm like, this is so bad, it's great. Because Guitar Man wins.
Both of those tag title matches this past week, I was just like, Jeff Jarrett has 100%. He's in control of this storyline.
Yeah, it's been fun. It's been great. It's been
different to everything else.
Exactly that. You can tell he's put his spin on things. As you know, as I've been annoying you, I've been binging his podcast, and I went from Guitar Man, a pain in my ass, lol, Jared wins, as a fan of TNA during his reign of terror, going, oh my goodness, the Guitar Man's back, shit, to, okay, he's not the worst person on the face of the earth, to, I can appreciate, just, it's different and good. But if you give him too much, it just becomes lol, Jared wins.
Yeah, I think if he's just used as a talent, he's fine. It's when he has the booking power where it's like, I'm just going to win everything.
Yeah, because, that GCW show last year, that was so great how that went down.
So bad. Everything from the TNA era onwards involving Jarrett. TNA, he won everything.
Yeah.
Global Force Wrestling, that went really well.
Global Force
Gold went even better. GCW run, the WWE run, now into AEW, and at least this time it's just like, you're just a dude on the roster, and then you have a background role of maybe look at live event stuff. We'll let you do that.
Yeah,
You don't have the booking power,
exactly. Yeah, exactly. He doesn't have his mate Russo behind him. But we do get to listen to that sweet wee woo wee woo,
Jesus.
and Guitar Man comes out. I love that meme so much. Wee woo wee woo.
What did you think of Max? Did you catch Max Caster's rap on Rampage this week?
I did hear it several times. First, I was listening to it in a storage locker that was echoing, and my mate is like, "Why are they?" And I then had to give a me style 20-minute info dump on why Scissor Me Daddy Ass is hilarious while we're trying to load his stuff into a storage unit.
Did you have to give like the whole Vince
Yeah.
background as well?
I came close to that. That was like the day till eventually my lovely partner turned around and said, "Jason, we're here to effing move some stuff. Can you please stop talking about this for 5 minutes?"
Classic.
Yes, and yeah, you know me well enough that it probably went on for a lot longer than 20 minutes. I did listen to it again though later that night, and oh man, he absolutely nailed that. Absolute, I was like, wow.
That was Max Caster unleashed, which we haven't sort of seen
Yes.
since what was the last one that he got a lot of backlash for?
I remember the Amber Heard line got him in a little bit of trouble.
Yes, something like that. And then this was the one.
And
where
then there was the whole. Yeah, I'm pretty sure the one that got him in the most trouble was that the Eiffel Tower joke about Julia. I think that was the one. And then since then he really toned down a lot, kind of skirted the line. This was back to okay, yeah, we're going back to 90%, not 100%, but 90% of you can say what you want.
It was
good. That was a highlight of the show for me. Which is pretty much because it's the only part of the show I've seen, because you said, luckily you said that to me.
I love that AEW always clip those out. It's great.
It's smart. Like, honestly, if there's one part of Rampage I wanted to see and I wanted to watch, it is Max saying something stupid.
And then the other big talking point coming out of last week's AEW shows, what are you thinking of the new set and stage entrance ramp?
I was not a fan at first.
Yeah, when I saw the still images of the dark setup, I was like, oh, that's a bit... Just a whole bunch of LED
like
screens.
Yeah, it looked like something out of a 2K game.
Mm-hmm.
Like, hey, like, as someone who's big into playing WWE 2K, it's like, this is what WCW would have looked like if it was the third brand or whatever under the WWE banner. And it's like, cool. There's a lot of LED screens here. There's a lot of red and blue.
Yeah.
Cool. We'll say again, that show was well lit. Looked a lot nicer on the eyes.
So good now.
Way better. Like, again, like I was watching part of it on my phone, and I'm like, I don't know if it's because I got my phone brightness up too high or somehow it's streaming in 4K, but man, he looked gorgeous for once than the nice dark smoky look of the old era.
Yeah, I don't know if it was like, I imagine that they have changed something with like the camera settings or something, but the way the crowd was lit was really like well done. Like you could see the crowd, but it wasn't like they were just drowning in spotlights. And the colors really popped. I think if they hadn't gone with red and blue, I don't think there would have been as much controversy about this new redesign. Like, literally, if they'd just gone any other colours, fine. Like, purple and gold. Which is kind of what they use for Battle of the Belts. Purple and green, blue and green.
Yeah. I just realised red and blue is the Raw and SmackDown colours.
Yes.
Yeah. Now I understand why people are like, that's a bit silly.
I was just like, any other colour and we would have been fine. Like, yellow and...
Yeah.
Like, yellow was their colour. Yellow and white was always their colour.
That's what I was trying to... I was trying to think, what was their colours? Like, I've got a bit of a mental blank. I'm like, it's not yellow, because yellow is NXT. And then I remembered, yeah, no, it is. Yeah, AEW was yellow. I tried looking down my shirt, but it's
It's
just
the
the
white logo,
white
yeah.
logo.
But
Yeah, on the good old classic black
I think
T-shirt.
once we saw the stage in action for Dynamite and particularly Rampage, Britt Baker's entrance looks epic on that new stage. It looks
Oh, really?
so much cooler. Like, just the way they have, like, the blood in. Because there are so many different LED
Yeah.
screens and they're not all. It's not one big wall. Like, it's
Yeah, yeah.
two side panels, a top panel, the middle window, and then two smaller screens down below. The way they, like,
Yeah.
put different elements on that to make it, like, look like there's depth and stuff on the stage looks really cool. And then the way they moved the announce desk as well, and the way they moved on Dynamite, the camera like swept in onto them, felt very like NFL. The crane camera coming down onto the sideline commentary table.
Yep. The old WWF crane cam, which was used in every single Austin main event of the crowd brawl up to the crowd. Got to get that shot of the camera zooming into the guy's head. That's instantly what comes to mind when I think of that camera. But yeah, no, it is. Oh, it's also like, I guess with Brits, if you've got the right graphics, you can always make it look good and always add to it.
Yep.
So if they do update a lot of the graphics for a lot of the other talent, it will be nice to see what they pull off.
Orange Cassidy's was really cool as well.
Brit-
like each screen was like just white with black text. It was just like, put cool orange logo here.
Okay,
put
that's cool.
Something here.
That's actually cool.
That was just funny. And the other
that is perfect.
The other big redesign part that I noticed on the two shows was the backstage segments. They weren't just against like a flat wall anymore. It's just like, here's a flat wall with the AEW logo all over it. It's like 4 LED panels with borders, and it was kind of like curved. Like it looked like an NFL Network TV like shoot or news station type thing. It just looked. The backstage segments just took it up a whole new level.
Yeah, no, it was drastically needing a bit of an overhaul, like especially considering, hey, we actually are
the same stage,
legit company now.
Same stage setup they've had for 3 or 4 years. So.
Yeah. I will miss, now, even though Cody has been gone for almost a year now, there's no longer have the chandelier lights coming down and rising up for the Cody. It now feels like he really is gone. Even though he has been gone for a year, it's kind of like, oh, this is sad. The saddest moment of seeing that entrance. But yeah, no, it'd definitely be interesting to see what they do when they go back to Daly's place, because they always use like that modified stage for that venue.
Yeah. Just because of the shape of that venue.
Because it's such a weird venue, but it's always makes it look unique.
I am gonna miss.
So yeah, no,
I'm gonna miss the tunnels, but I guess they still kept like the 2 separate entrances. So it's kind of
at least they've got
the flavor, but not the exact same thing.
At least it kind of reminds me a little bit of the Impact Zone when they changed from the tunnels on the left and the right side of things,
like the single.
And then they went to the single one, and at least it's and that went from unique to no, WWE has big screen, we're just gonna have a big screen. At least they haven't done that. They've kind of stayed in the middle, but they hired the WWE's former production guy. I can't remember what his exact role was. So yeah, you can definitely see the influence there.
There also was a lot more camera cutting, which I wasn't a fan of. Especially like there was an interview segment where I was like, oh geez, let's turn this back.
Yeah, don't you love like a little bit of vertigo when you're watching a show?
No, thank you. I don't need motion sickness when I'm watching 2 guys stand still talk to each other.
Yeah, I can't say I noticed it. I think that's one of the advantage of trying to split your time between doing what you're paid to do and I'm just gonna watch play fighting. So didn't really notice them, but I'm sure I will this week when it's I'm watching.
Yeah, it wasn't so much in the matches. It was just like there was one particular interview segment. I can't remember who it was, where I was like, oh geez, we're cutting back the MJF one. I think They were cutting back from like
Oh,
MJF, Bryan,
yeah,
backwards and
that
forwards real
was.
quick. I was like, oh, geez, too many cuts.
Yeah, it was. Says one word. Oh, gotta get MJF's reaction. Okay. Oh, he's speaking again. Quick, put the camera back
Yeah,
on him. Yeah. Now I know
I
exactly
would have
what you're
preferred they just
referring
went,
to there.
let's go back and use the split screen because that always works well.
That's. I thought they did. Maybe because I was just so used to that split screen. My brain just went, oh yeah, they must have.
Yeah, no, I don't. I'm pretty sure they didn't, which was annoying.
Yeah. No, I believe that. Yeah, I believe they probably didn't because logic.
Okay, that's enough AEW talk. We're here to chat about so far the
Hmm.
biggest show of the year with one of the biggest moments of the year and a potential match of the year candidate. What, a week into 2023?
Yeah, that's how you know New Japan's
Yeah,
back. Is if it's like, yeah, if it's not like a week into the year and you're already going like, yeah, that nothing's topping that. Then you know New Japan is
yeah.
back.
If there's not a match of the year candidate in the first week of January, New Japan's struggling.
Yes, and that's why after I watched that show, I'm like, cool, I'm watching New Japan again
Mm-hmm.
this year. Um, they they absolutely smashed it out of the park.
Yeah, so New Japan's Wrestle Kingdom 17 taking place from the prestigious Tokyo Dome on January 4th.
Hmm.
Had a record viewership for them this year.
Oh shit!
All-time viewership record with 92,409 unique viewers, 30% of which were
Wow.
outside of Japan, and a majority of those watched it live, not on delay, which is pretty nuts given for us that's fine.
Yeah.
It's a 2-hour difference. For the US, this show kicked
Yeah.
off at 1 a.m.
Yeah,
on
that
a
was
Wednesday.
the big thing I see. Yeah, it was entertaining seeing a lot of the posts on like Reddit and social media of people going, "Wait, what? This starts at 3 a.m. in the morning? Wait, what?"
Yeah,
And all the Brits are like,
yeah. Get
"Yeah,
used to it,
welcome
guys.
to our world." Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is our lives.
Our mate Scott Lesh sitting up at 1 a.m., not able to drink coffee. I was like, you poor bloke, how are you doing this?
I feel bad for him every year. Every year I always message him going, now you know how now you know how the Brits feel. Like,
Yeah, not so much us. We just
welcome
get to watch it in
to
the middle of
pain.
the day on a Thursday or a Wednesday or a Monday.
Yeah,
It's fine for us.
yeah, exactly. It's all cool for us, but like, yeah, they kind of realize how the rest of the world has to suffer. Because luckily, I don't think British wrestling has really live streamed much. Because otherwise, that's us. Like their shows. Like I remember watching that World of
Yeah,
Sports
it's and the
live show, and it started 3 a.m. in the morning for us. And I was messaging all my mates, and they're like, "Yeah, shut up. We deal with this all the time."
yeah,
I'm like, "Yeah, but I
yeah.
don't like this."
Money in the Bank this year is going to be
Yeah.
the one that kills us,
Oh, yeah. That's. I
and
knew there
whatever
was
the
something that was
AEW show
coming from
is.
me. Yeah, I'm not looking forward. Like, luckily, hopefully, AEW's just tape delayed.
Yeah,
Like
if it's just a
they
Dynamite,
normally
I'm not
do. But
watching it
yeah,
live. I'm sorry,
yeah, no, I highly
unless
doubt they're
it's
doing it
yeah.
live. I'm pretty sure that would be tape delayed. But yeah, old mate Lesh having to be awake for his good old play fighting is always a fun part of my January 4th traditions to remind him that suck shit. This is what you get for living in New
Yep.
York.
And this New Japan show also was the 11th most searched topic on Google on the day, which was the first time a
Wow.
Japanese show was in the top 20 for a day as well. So I
Wow.
think
That,
the rumors that were
yeah.
leading into this match, into this show, played a big part, and Kenny returning against Will Ospreay was a major draw as well. So drew
Yeah,
a big
and
new
like,
audience, which is pretty crazy.
yeah, no, definitely. Like I said, a lot of people learning what AEW, I mean, New Japan is through AEW. Like, as weird as it is for us to say that, considering AEW
We
came
went the
from
other
New
way. Yeah,
Japan. Yeah, that that is a sentence I didn't think I'd say, but yeah, a lot of people, didn't even think of the Kenny impact on it. I'm just like, yeah, it's Wrestle Kingdom. Kenny's going to be there, except for the last four. Yeah, and well, the other big rumor that was,
Paid off.
oh boy, it paid off. I am just curious the amount of people that probably put that show on to watch that big surprise, and then like watched like later matches going, WTF? Why are you doing this to yourselves?
Oh, yeah.
Like, I remember my first Kingdom show was the one that had Jared did, where he live streamed the first one they actually proper live streamed. Yep. Yeah, I can't remember which one it was, but yeah, I watched it thinking, oh yeah, first match, flippy junior tag match, and that was like Goto versus, just say Suzuki or
Yeah, it's
Ishii,
probably Ishii.
and going,
they just murdered each other.
yeah, whoa, yeah, like what is and just being blown away,
And then you get like
that was a style
Shibata and Shinsuke just kicking the absolute living crap out of each other.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, this is what they do here.
Okay, we just
and
punch
yeah,
each other
being
square in the
deeply
head and deal with it. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, the human body, the neck can. Okay, cool. I did not know that.
Yeah, you just drop that guy square on the top of his head. That's smart, safe.
Yeah, exactly. I'm kind of curious. I was very curious to see, but I think a lot of people probably see the big thing and then went, "All right, screw this. I'm going to bed."
Yeah, I would be interested to see how many people stuck out through the entire show, especially given how early this big rumor paid off. I was surprised it was so early on the show.
That is exactly it. Like, at least if you're living in the West Coast, I think the show started at like 10:30. So, yeah, by midnight you would have got the payoff, and you would have gone, all right, cool, sweet, I'll watch the rest later.
Yeah, East Coast not so
So
great.
at least, yeah.
But
yeah, East Coast,
also
like...
on the East Coast, by the time most people were waking up, Kenny Will was just starting.
Yeah, and to be fair, after you watch that, you go, yeah, I'm not going to sleep.
Because I remember Karina messaged me as Kenny Will were walking out for their match. Like, good morning. And I was like, perfect timing. Put New Japan on. She's like, no, I'm not ready for work.
Yeah, don't worry about getting ready for work. Just phone in a little bit late.
Just watch this 40-minute match of people murdering each other.
Exactly. Like, my mate was one of those people to watch the show for the first time, and as I said to him, mate, you aren't going to bed before 11:30. And I think
pre-show starts at 5, but you'll be up until midnight.
And I remember, I think Kenny and Ospreay started about 10ish our time, and he's like, "Oh, you don't know what you're talking about. I'll be in bed by 11." I did warn him, if Okada walks out at 11 o'clock, mate, you're not going to bed for at least an hour.
Yeah, at least midnight. Although I think that match was
probably... the next morning.
That match was, I think, shorter than the one before.
Yeah, I was wrong when I did say, when Okada comes out 40 minutes later, maybe the match will end. I was wrong on that one, but it was funny the next morning seeing him at work going, so what did you think? And he's like, F off, I'm tired, go away.
Fair.
It was fun. So, but yeah, no, it was a solid show.
Yeah, I don't think it was like epic level Wrestle Kingdoms that we've had in the past, but it was definitely better than the last 2, 3, maybe 4.
Yeah, no, definitely that. Like, the only thing I thought was missing from it was that never open weight, let's stiff the shit out of each other. Let's just beat the crap.
Yeah, because the never open weight match this year was very far from that.
Yeah, that was the, okay, cool, time to go get myself another beer, time to, I'll go do some dishes.
Yeah, I think I went and made a Milo at that point.
Yeah, I actually think I put my ducks to bed at that point. That was the, all right, cool, time to get a bit of a break.
Love that that's a totally normal sentence for you.
I love that you just completely broke.
Oh yeah, I just put my ducks to bed. Yeah, because that's normal. That's a standard thing people say.
that's exactly it. Most people, went to the toilet, had a quick shower. No, Puddles had to go to bed. My chickens needed to be locked away in bed,
Jesus.
come back and the match is still going. I
Okay.
can't believe that got you.
Alright, let's run through the card and give some little reviews on each match. So the show opened. We're ignoring the pre-show because it was very forgettable.
Yeah.
The Rambo was fun, but standard Rambo action.
Can we just talk about probably the one thing that we do need to talk about before you start? How effing great is having Gino back on commentary.
So good. He's so fun.
Just so I do remember messaging my mate going, yes, he is Australian. He's like, he's the greatest commentator. Why have I not seen of him before? And he was just hooked. He's like, this guy is just great.
He's very funny. I'll give him that. And he plays.
He's so funny.
He plays the heel commentator really well without going over the top like you get with the sort of the WWE heel commentators and even like Don Callis. He's not like that. He's kind of just like, these are my guys. I'm going to cheer for them. Not these guys are the best and they're like evil. He's just like, oh, they're cool. I love these guys. What are you talking about? They're my mates. And
exactly.
Kevin and
Kevin
Chris
Kelly's...
just being like, shut up, Gino. They're not cool.
Which again is the very normal response to any Australian is just shut up, please.
The best part about the pre-show was
elated.
Like Kevin and Chris just kind of taking the piss out of Gino, and that was fun.
Yeah. That was actually one of the good things because I seen it on social media. You sent it to me going, hey, look who showed up at the fan meet and greet. Didn't tell Tyler about it. He came inside because we were making burgers. He comes inside and he just stops. He's like, WTF? Wait, what's doing there? And that was what caught him so off guard. And I'm like, oh yeah. I deliberately didn't tell him to watch his reaction of like, all right, cool. This is going to be good because their commentary stuff is just great. Kevin Kelly knows his shit, knows what he's talking about. Chris translates beautifully, which again was fun trying to tell my mate at work. Oh yeah, they never had a translator for the first 5 years I was watching it. It was kind of go on Twitter.
Commentary when I started.
Yeah, that's it. It's like they'd be having a pre-match promo. You had to go on Twitter and just dumb luck find someone that someone else had reshared and liked there, and then follow them, and then hope the algorithm shows them back up to find out what they were talking about.
Yeah, I remember
and he just looked at me going, "What?"
I think the first 2 or 3 Wrestle Kingdoms I watched were just in Japanese commentary, and that was a weird experience.
Exactly.
I'm just watching people beat the shit out of each other, and I don't know why.
Yeah. So that's always fun, and then just Gino just being Gino. I really, really, really hope that was not one off. I really hope he sticks around, comes back for some bigger shows.
I imagine he's going to be the permanent third member of that one. Whether it's he might not do the random shows, but I think the big shows and the best of Super Juniors and G1 and stuff he'll probably be there for. And
exactly.
The Tamashi shows, I imagine he's going to be commentating those.
Yeah.
So that it does
exactly.
feel more like these are New Japan shows, they're not MCW or PWA shows with New Japan stickers. Which is what the first one kind of felt like. This is a PWA show with a New Japan banner.
Yeah, exactly. We're in a PWA building with PWA talent.
The PWA ring and setup.
Yeah. Stage, commentators and everything. But no, we have a little different logo on everything. Definitely sets it apart.
Yeah, so I imagine Gino's going to play a bigger role in those moving forward.
Yeah. And Gino just making references to Aussie wrestling things and shouting out Mikey J randomly on a show going, wait, what?
He shouted out Taylor King from Perth. I'm like, okay.
That is the best thing about Gino, because it's I bet you 90% of the people, or 99% of the people have no idea what he's saying.
Yeah, who the hell is Mikey J and Taylor King? What?
And just me and you going, oh God, Gino. But that was
a whole bunch of Woggle Woggle references.
Oh my, that was just
Especially on New Year's Dash.
that.
They hammered the Wagga Wagga references on New Year's Dash.
Oh man, I asked my mate. I asked one of my bosses at work. I'm like, "Hey, we got customers in Wagga Wagga. How about you send me up there for a couple of days?"
Oh, that'd be a good idea.
He's like, "Yeah." He's like, "Why do you want to go to Wagga Wagga for?" And I'm like, "Oh no, mate. Like, I just want to like help out and grow and
I got to meet the
have an
clients.
opportunity." Yeah, exactly. I did that. Very quickly, his response was, "What's going on? What do you want?" I'm like, What do you think's going on there?"
Yeah.
It's like some play fighting event. Yeah, a Japanese play fighting event in Wagga Wagga. In his response,
For 4 days.
keep in mind, keep in mind, this is someone that goes, "You watch that fake wrestling crap," is the direct quote. Why the F are they doing a show in Wagga Wagga? Proceeded to then
Wales
give him
government paid them to.
exactly, and he's just like, just left confused, and he's like, "You're gonna have to go through from the higher bosses." All right, I'll go see him. Don't, because he knew I'd probably walk in there going, "Hey, buddy, pal."
Just wait until you know dates,
So
and then start pitching it.
that's it. That is exactly it. Like, Plan B is deliberately screwing up an order and then being like, "Someone's got to hand deliver it to make me feel better." Oh,
I'll go.
I made a mistake. You can punish me by making me drive to Wagga Wagga. Oh man, I've been so naughty. It's funny because I'm going to send you a message going, "Guess who got a free trip to Wagga Wagga?"
Yep. All expenses paid. All I have to pay for is my wrestling tickets.
Exactly.
You idiot.
But yeah, I love the Wagga Wagga references. Wagga Wagga. Such a logical thing, but yes.
So yeah, the show, back to the show and the matches, it kicked off with the IWGP Junior Tag Team Championships, which is pretty much always in this spot.
Yeah.
Catch 2-2, TJP and Francesco Akira from the United Empire going up against the most creative tag team name of all time, Leo.
Yeah,
Leo Rush and Yo.
Yeah.
What did you think of this one?
Good opener, real solid sort of thing there. I can't say there was really much that really stood out. Like, Leo Rush got busted up bad.
Real bad.
That, like I said,
bad
I
enough
realized
that he missed Bowler.
like nothing stood out. Yeah, which is I did have a quick sneaky look at before we started this, checking up on results and that. But yeah, like seeing that, and yeah, it was, like I said, it was a good opener. I don't think it was very flippy from memory.
No,
Like,
not
like
a lot
the
of
old
like
Super Junior.
not a lot of dives and stuff, but it was still like super fast paced. They were running around in the ring, hitting moves like in quick succession, but
it was
no big crazy dives.
Great opener. Yeah, good solid opener. So that it did its purpose. Got the crowd, got the crowd going. Everyone was kind of like, okay, cool. What's the next match? Was basically everyone sort of thing there. But yeah, no, it was solid. I'm pretty sure the United Empire retained as well.
They did. Which
Yeah.
made me think, when it kicked off with them winning this match and retaining the titles, I was like, oh boy, we're in for like the United, like when Bullet Club was massive and they were just winning everything. I was like, this is going to be the United Empire just sweeping every match that they're involved in and being like, we're here and we're the top faction now.
Yeah,
but,
yes.
No, strangely, that wasn't the case later on in the show.
Yeah, and there's a glaring omission from that one in one of the matches coming up as well. So I think we can both rant about for hours. But yeah, that was good.
And then we kicked over to the brand new title. I also realized when I was putting together this list of for the show, every single match on this main card, bar one, was a championship match.
Yeah.
The 6-man tag
title match
was the only one that wasn't a title match, and that was because it was Keiji Muto's retirement match. If it hadn't been his retirement match, it probably would have been for the 6-man tag titles.
Yeah, exactly. But you know, being a
But
retirement
AEW
match
is
is
the
kind of
company that
a
has too
little
many
bit above
belts.
it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's not New Japan.
You could do a
They don't have too
whole,
many belts. No,
yeah,
they just
you
have
know,
an
six
eight. They
man,
just have
the never.
an 8 match card which has a title in every match. And I think there was a
Yeah,
title on the line in the pre-show as well, the King of Pro Wrestling.
no, that was no, that was to qualify for the Rambo for the next night's show,
So
because you know that's what you do on your major year show.
loosely a title match,
Yeah,
title match qualifier.
um, yeah. Let's do a battle royal, but not finish the battle royal. It's like, oh, you got to come back tomorrow to watch the rest
Yeah,
of it.
we
But
finish with 4 people. Okay.
yeah, as you do.
So yeah, match 2, the IWGP Women's Championship, the first time we've ever had an IWGP Women's Championship match. Kairi versus Tam Nakano. Uh, I
Yep.
had really high hopes for this, even with the rumors that were swirling. I was like, yes, there are these big rumors of this person that I'm not going to spoil just yet coming in. But I was like, even without that, I think these two are going to put on like this epic, this is what Japanese women's wrestling is.
Yes.
And then we'll get the spoilers with, okay, so everybody's here for this rumored person. Here's what Japanese women's wrestling is. Watch this. But we got a under 6 minute match, 5 minutes and 56 seconds.
Yeah, I was
shocked at how short it was.
Yeah, I was too. Because here I was thinking, you have this baked in audience. Like, I've always been interested by women's Japanese wrestling, like Stardom and that, but I'm just too lazy to sign up for another streaming service on top of the 50,000 other streaming services.
Especially one that's going to have like maybe one show a month.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, I struggle to keep on top of things as it is. So I'm like, okay, cool. I was excited with the, you know, New Japan women's title thing. I'm like, oh, sweet, cool. At least I could kind of be lazy and, you know, just watch New Japan and get the best of both worlds. And I'm, you know, again, I'm messaging my mate. It's the first time ever watching a show. It was funny telling him, oh, yeah, New Japan has never had a women's division. And it blew his mind. He's like, what do you mean they've never had a women's division? And I'm like, I'm not going to message you the whole it's segregated and it's you know it's how it works.
Yeah, they've always
All
just had
Japan women's
separate
wrestling.
promotions.
Yeah, and that I think that was what blew his mind the most about everything. Was the fact of they just never had women. That's just how it was. But yeah, and then it went for like because I'm like it was going to be a fun match to see because like I said I was excited to watch Stardom women. Watch, like I said, I watched the historic crossover show because I was like, and blown away by all these women. I'm like,
I watched
they're going to go out there and kill each other.
I watched the Stardom show that was like 2 or 3 days before this as well. With the Julia match. That was now that's the match you need to go out and watch if you're interested in Stardom.
Like I said, if it wasn't for my extremely hectic weekend, and I probably might go watch it later tonight, and you'll get a message at like 2 a.m. in the morning going, oh my god, that was incredible. But yeah, I was kind of like, I was in 2 months. I'm like, surely they're not going to draw this out, and the crowd's like, we know that person's here. We know it as a fact. Just give us what we want. But also at the same time, you know,
this is the
we
first
need to
time
show off what women can do.
This is the first time we're defending this championship on a
and then it was 6 minutes.
A major New Japan show, and we're going to give them 6 minutes. I was like, I was expecting like 20 minutes, fast paced, really like physical, and then we get like 5 minutes of post match stuff. But I think we almost got more post match stuff than we got match.
Yeah, no, we definitely did, and that's like I said, the whole hey, stand around the ring and just do nothing for 5 minutes because someone's going to get out. We've got to cart that person from the secret holding base to Gorilla. So you just got to stand around like an idiot for 5 minutes. And then the thing happened.
So yeah, like obviously the shortness of the match was sort of built in for this post match moment of Mercedes Moné debuting, formerly Sasha Banks in WWE, Um, how did you feel when that video popped up and then she actually showed up?
I was. It was. It was like all the great returns of, again, me and you message each other every little Shinra Sap tweet that ever has existed, every little photo of like, hey, there's this chick at the airport that has the same hair color as Becky getting on a flight to the next town of, but still when it happens, I'm still shocked because it's like, you can be in that town, cool, seeing friends, just wants to go see some play fighting in Japan, as you do. It's like, oh shit, they're actually working here. I still reacted as if it was a total surprise because it was more of a, how many reports have you seen of, Sasha Banks just happens to be in the area and just, never shows up.
Mm.
It's like, yeah, it's called I'm Seeing Friends. So it's big. That Valley show, I'm shocked it has not sold out yet. I know I'm jumping
It
ahead a little
definitely
bit there.
moves tickets. It's definitely close now.
Yeah, that's it. Like I was expecting it to sell out by the second that segment was over, but also at the same time, like,
It was 3
most
a.m.
people in, yeah, it's at 2 a.m. It's 2 a.m. in the morning. Am I going to be buying tickets? But also, if you're dumb enough to stay awake till 2 a.m. in the morning watching it, yeah, you're more than happy to spend the money on the tickets. So, no, it's a huge shot in the arm for him. It's great. I think, the second she left and New Japan were like, hey, we're creating a women's division. And this chick's that's obsessed with Japanese wrestling that's now the biggest name and it's a free agent. It wasn't hard to put two and two together there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like when the video played, I was like, oh crap, yeah, it's actually happening. But I was still kind of just like, don't believe it until I see her. I'm not going to believe it until I
Yeah,
see her. And then when they showed her, I got like like full shiver down my spine. I was like, oh crap, they actually did it. They've got her. Wow.
that's exactly it. That's exactly it. As we've both been fans during the whole CM Punk's coming back at the Rumble. CM Punk's definitely going to be at Mania. It's definitely happening. You know what I mean? It's like, no. Not unless he walks out on that stage. I don't believe it. That was one of the examples with CM Punk's whole AEW return was the same thing. It was like, I know it's happening, but I will believe it. And that's the same category I'll put the Sasha Banks thing as. It was like, this is unbelievably cool.
Yep. And I thought she looked fantastic. I thought the whole entrance was cool. The outfit she had on was really cool. I'm not entirely sold on that hair, but it's growing on me.
The
The
jellyfish.
more like, yeah, the more photos and stuff I see, I'm like, it's fine. I'll get used to it. And she's never been one to like keep a hairstyle for very long, so
Yeah, exactly.
if she shows up on Dynamite this week, it could be totally different. Who knows?
Yeah. So it'd be interesting to see where they go from here, how long she sticks around for. But, hey, I'm definitely probably going to watch that Battle in the Valley show for sure now.
Yep, February 18th.
Certain. Yes.
What did you think of her new finishing move that she hit on
Yes.
Kairi?
It, if it done correct, done properly, or however, like, look, I didn't think it was that much of a botch. It wasn't the most outrageous thing ever, but people overreact to the internet for a reason. It was pretty cool.
To be fair, to pull it off in those heels, I think she did a pretty good job.
Exactly that. Look, I think it's a lot better. I always love it when talent go to new companies completely, like whether it be, she's doing the Sasha Banks gimmick, but we can't legally say that, so here's the, the knockoff version of it or whatever, however you want to look at it. It's nice when people reinvent themselves or whatever and create a new finisher and not just go, oh, I'm going to do the Bank statement, but it's the, BANCK statement.
Yeah, or it's some sort of like money reference.
Yeah.
It's the money box now.
Yeah, that's it. It's the money box, and it's like, oh, cool. And it's cool and Jericho does that a lot whenever he, tends to hit newer moves, like when he comes to AEW, the stupid Judas effect move.
Which
no.
I hated it at
it
first.
Is nice.
I'm fine with it now.
That's exactly it. I didn't like it at first, and I'm sure like whatever Sasha's new finisher is cool, but I'm sure it'll grow on me in time. And like I said, it can't be worse than oh yeah, it used to be the crossface bank statement sort of thing there. So it's an improvement.
Yeah, no, I thought it was cool.
Yeah,
I am excited to see when she like actually has a bit of time to work with Kairi a bit more. Like I can't imagine she had much time to sort of run through it with Kairi. Kairi was probably
yeah,
pretty like, even though it was only a 6-minute match, she was probably not
yeah,
totally prepared for it. Hitting it in those heels, difficult. So yeah,
yeah. And
I can forgive it.
the
It's
whole
fine.
exactly, it wasn't the most outrageous thing. Like I seen it, I'm like, and then I seen like the other version of her practicing. I'm like, yeah, it's just a little bit sloppy, but she didn't get all of it, but she got most of
Yeah,
it.
and yeah, like excitement. Like, you're not going to hit it perfectly every single time.
So yeah, no, it's decent. Like I said, it was happy. Glad it happened. Yeah, it'd just be interesting to see how many people went. All right, cool, time for bed. Straight after that, or
Yep.
how many accounts got DMCA'd to oblivion
Oh,
straight after.
I'm sure there was plenty.
Oh,
The
I'll just.
couple of other questions in regards to her debut. The name.
Hmm.
How are you feeling on the name?
Yeah, it works as a heel name because it sounds pretentious and wankerish. That's what I'll say there. I'm not. Wrestling names are always a bit of a funny one. Like I said, Sasha Banks sounds like a stupid one when you say it, but when you say it over and over and over and over and over, it just grows on you.
Yep.
So yeah, no, look, I don't really have much. It's a name.
I think
Um,
the one thing that annoys me about it is I've heard it said like 3 different ways.
yes,
Like so many
yes,
people are
that
saying Monet as in like the artist, but it's not Monet, it's Monet. Like
I
money,
didn't
but
even know that person
yeah,
was an artist, but yes,
yeah, it's Mercedes Moné, as in like
like
money.
like a French person trying to say money. Like,
No,
is that what it? Oh, okay,
no,
yeah, it's
like
like a really
yeah,
bad Mercedes money just sounds it. I understand it sounds like a name of a random indie wrestling and someone with their first name just starting out
yeah.
name
I
is
don't know,
what it sounds like to me.
and also not being able to call herself the boss is a bit weird. She has to be the CEO now.
But that's because the CEO is bigger than the boss. She's in a
And
bigger spot now.
playing off that boss comment, do you think she appears at AEW Dynamite as of
I
the time this episode comes out tomorrow?
I would like to say the Britt Banker line, which is always fun with AEW because I don't know. Sometimes our streams are so out of sync, or so I'll message you going, "Oh my gosh, you said the line," and you're like, "What are you
Huh?
talking about?" 30 seconds later, oh, I see what you mean. Like
No, we were
she's,
in sync. My brain wasn't in sync
oh, that's rare
because you
because it's
said it, and I
always
was
me.
like, "You said," I was like, "What are you talking about?" And then it took me like 2 seconds. I was like, "Oh, she said I'm the boss. I get it now."
Yeah, that line there kind of made me go, "Oh, okay, it's happening." But then when good old Uncle Dave, Big Daddy Dave, comes out and goes, "Not happening. Grow up." It's like, oh,
But
okay.
he also did say that he heard it from people in the match, and like, if he did hear it from
Yeah,
people in the match, they can't be that stupid that they're spoiling the biggest moment in their match to
yeah.
the biggest wrestling journalist in the world.
But
Like
also, like,
they're not that stupid.
but also, if you're the biggest wrestling journalist in the world, you can't be that stupid to turn around and go,
And
"Oh,
believe them.
such and such." Yeah, such as you know what I mean. Like, I know I message you a lot of dumb things. There's 1,001 dumb things I know in here that I don't message you because it's like I want to check that out first before
Mhm.
So that's why it's like it's just yeah. I don't know. It's really weird because you would think by now it'd be like the CM Punk thing of like, oh man, I wonder who's just going to happen to show up. But
Yeah, I just
you'd think it would. You
that
can't
line
shit the bed.
that line itself, like this has been promoted for so long that there's this mystery partner. That
Mm,
one line was like, it's happening. because
Yeah.
she said, "I'm the boss," and winked at the camera. Like, that's a whole thing. Like, that's not just an accident. And Tony isn't stupid enough to let that slide if...
In a pre-tape.
Yeah, like, not alive in the ring moment.
Yeah, but
and then they announced Tony, which then, like, had Sheeta get annoyed. And I was like, okay, so there's two ways this goes. Sheeta takes out Tony early in the show backstage, and then we get the whole, oh no, what's Saraya going to do now? Who's her partner going to be? She's got nobody. And then Tony and Jamie make their way to the ring. They're in the ring. They talk a big game, like, oh, what's she going to do now? She's got nobody that likes her, no partners. Sheeta's pissed off at her because of what she said last week. She's got nobody. And then Saraya comes out and goes, no, I found someone. And then Mercedes comes out. That's, like, the ideal for me. And then doing it that way leads ultimately to the AEW originals versus the former WWE stars, potentially leading to the first women's blood and guts match.
Yeah, say that, yeah.
Or then, in my head, the only other way that this plays out is the New Japan deal perhaps has... They're working with AEW, but they have a thing saying she can't wrestle until after Battle in the Valley because we want her first match. And a couple of weeks ago, we had those... Britt gave Saraya 2 tickets to the show.
Yeah, and but then, like, that 2-ticket thing's never been followed up to be like, but also at the same time, like, how do you not check off gun that and make it too obvious of, like, I just have these 2 tickets, like...
So, like, the second way I see this playing out is, yes, Tony is Saraya's partner for the match itself. But we see Mercedes and Kairi in the crowd. And then they end up having a brawl in the crowd to set up Battle in the Valley promotion.
That is a smart one, but man, those fans in LA they're not idiots.
They're gonna be pissed if that's how it plays out.
That's it. Like, you could picture how much they are going to reject and boo the living crap out of that whole segment. It's going to be bad. It is going to be a joke. So
it hurts Tony. It doesn't help anyone.
That's it. Tony looks like a fucking idiot by the end of it.
If Tony's music plays and Tony walks out, Tony gets booed out of it, and that's not the character. She's not a heel.
Yeah, exactly. So,
whereas
definitely do think.
But then, I guess Sheeta taking Tony out, I guess would make her a heel because she's taking out a fan favorite. But the crowd's also going to cheer because they know that's going to lead to getting the person that's being rumored.
But that's also the Adam Cole situation of, like, you know what I mean? He can do the most dastardly thing, break Bryan's neck. We'll get booed for 10 seconds, but then instantly everyone will go, Adam Cole, baby, instantly second. And it's one of those things, like, look, I do believe she's definitely showing up because, like, if everyone's believed, in November, the deals were all not inked. Legally, we can't talk to her, but, we were passing notes to her husband, and, he just happened to say this, and this, like, wrestling bullshit. But it's one of those things, they dropped the whole Sheeta Britt Baker thing dead in the water. After teasing it for so long, and then instantly going, oh, no, they're friends now, because something better showed up. And that's, you know what I mean? That's why it's like, surely you'd be, you know what I mean? Like, for them to drop, like, that was their hot like, the hot thing was, these two are gonna, go at it. To, no, we kissed and made up, it's all good, we'll work Christmas party. I said, oh, sorry. She said, it's fine. Yeah, something's got to happen there.
Yeah, and just like Tony's a smart man. He's not gonna tease this out for a month and a half of Saraya's got this mystery partner. It just so happens to be after January 1st when this other person's contract
showing
is
up
finally over. So yeah, and I understood why they didn't say anything last week or the week before because they didn't want to spoil the New Japan surprise, and maybe that's why they played into it last Dynamite as well because I guess they were thinking maybe not everyone has watched New Japan yet, so we don't want to spoil it on them. But I was expecting there to be the Sheeta takes out Tony thing on Rampage or Battle of the Belts, but we didn't get that. So yeah, that's where I'm going to. We kick off the show where we're teasing. Okay, we're going to have the Saraya match first up. That's going to start the show. Saraya comes out. Her partner never shows up. We go backstage. Sheeta's destroying Tony. Saraya runs to the back to try and find out and save her. And then we get no, she's not cleared to wrestle. Now what's going to happen for the main event? Although it won't be the main event. Escalera de la Muerte is going to be the main, surely.
That was like the whole other thing was like, you know, I wouldn't be shocked if you turn and go, screw it, we're gonna start the show with a 6-man, you know, escalator ladder match. Let's just start the show like that. The first
time Tony started with some ridiculously hot match.
Yeah, and that wouldn't shock me, but if you do that, it's like, okay, Sasha's showing up. You can't be this stupid.
Yeah, you can't put that match first and then not have Sasha at the end.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, you know, or do you do it at the start of the show? And, you know,
at least if they put that Saraya match at like the hour mark in the dead middle of the show,
yeah,
then it could go either way.
That's exactly
it's not like a guarantee that she's showing up, but I feel like it's pretty clear that she is.
Yeah, exactly that. And like I said, the fact that you dropped the whole Britt, Jamie drama, which could have been perfect by now for them to beat the shit out of each other, makes me think, no, we need you two together to be a united front for the incoming blood and guts or the incoming, you know, drama over here. So, because that's the thing is, you know, if you have Sheeta attack Tony Storm's the face. The non-AEW talent are the faces in
all
it.
The faces,
and then Sheeta's a heel. All you need is one more talent, and I'm sure that, you know, you can throw in Ty Conti and
Athena and Ruby can be on the ex-WWE.
Yeah, and again, Ruby goes in with Ty Mello and that. Yeah, Ty Mello can easily throw herself in there. Anna Jay throws herself in there. There's just 5, and, you know, I'm sure they'll probably just do the old school sort of, I'll have a TNA AEW original on the, you know, the incoming force thing. So, yeah, it'd be interesting to see where they go from there.
Yeah, and I know I'm certain she's showing up though. I'm planting my flag. She's showing up. If she doesn't, I'm going to look like a real idiot.
I'm just like, Daddy Dave can't be wrong. You know what I mean? Like, he can't be this stupid to say, nah, she's not showing up, not happening, and have that egg on his face. That's the only reason I was like, okay, Daddy's saying this.
I feel like they're intentionally leaking him fake shit now.
But then again, when he goes, oh, you know, TK calls me all the time. We just chat about things. It's like, okay, this is weird.
TK's also not that dumb. He's chatting about you things that he wants you to say.
Exactly that. We've all done that at work.
Old mate went from Seattle to Portland to Jacksonville in 3 days. Like, he's on the ball. I don't know when he sleeps. Yeah. Goddamn robot.
Exactly. Or he decides to then shit post on Twitter. Why is everyone being nice to me today?
How good was that tweet? That was the best, like, I'm taking a dig, but I'm not taking a dig. Please.
Exactly, because I thought that was because, again, I barely used my phone this weekend. I thought it was a fake tweet that just was like, this sounds so real. It's just funny. It's fake. And then when I said it was real, and then when I said it was real, I'm like, what? This guy is an absolute genius.
Yeah, so good.
But yeah.
And then back to Wrestle Kingdom.
Yes.
We got the next match, IWGP Tag Team Championships, featuring Mercedes Moné's best friends, FTR, Dax Harwood and Cash Wheeler, versus Bishamon, Hirooki Goto, and YOSHI-HASHI. Another, like, really solid match. But I just, for the life of me, cannot get behind believing YOSHI-HASHI as a believable champion.
Yeah,
in any capacity. Singles, tag, 6-man.
That's
Every time he's in a match, I look at him like, you're taking the pin.
that's that's exactly it. And like going into this match, you knew it was very obvious that FTR were losing because they've lost all their belts. I'm pretty sure I messaged you mid-December saying, "Screenshot this. I'll bet you any money they're wrong." While also looking at Sportsbet, going, here's some good money. Should have been Aussie Open.
Mm-hmm.
That is a hill I die on. That is the one I went off like earlier. I'm like, yeah, because again, they would have won. I also love the whole, hey, 5 out of the 6 won the match, and the leader loses his title, but all the underlings win their belts or retain their belts. Like I like that story because it also, then sets the main guy off to be off the rails a bit.
Yeah, and then everyone else is trying to rein him in to be like,
Yeah,
no, you know what you're doing. You got too wrapped up in this as a personal.
exactly. And it always tells the story of, oh, well, all the others won, so clearly he has to win, and then the shocker when he doesn't win. And I'm just a fan of that sort of storytelling there. But yeah, should have been Aussie Open. Goto and that are just there. FTR will be interesting to see where they go next.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like
Um,
I like Goto, but
yeah,
YOSHI-HASHI as a partner, I was just kind of like, okay. And
yeah, they are.
like I did
That
read that they apparently had a really good year in New Japan this year with some of their matches, but I haven't really watched all that much, so I was just like, oh, whatever. But yeah, I just feel like after all of the hype coming out of FTR versus Aussie Open the first time, and all of the World Tag League essentially leading and teasing that Aussie Open are winning World Tag League and going to Wrestle Kingdom to get their rematch and get retribution. Nope.
yes,
Okay,
yeah.
okay, that seems weird.
At least old mate Kyle was hanging out, at a pub in Sydney, drinking. So at least that was, I imagine that was his plan B of, well, I'm just going to get shit faced and watch the show anyways.
I just feel like it would have been the perfect we're Aussie Open are here, they're legitimate New Japan competitors, and hello Kitty. They're legitimate New Japan competitors, and we're strapping the rocket to them. These are our guys moving forward.
Exactly. Yes. I do apologize for that interruption there. That's because Goto and that are the quote unquote safe COVID bet of, hey, we can't get anyone in and out of the country, or people aren't available for the times we need them. Okay, cool, sweet. Here, have the belts for a couple of months. And that's the thing is, like, if Aussie Open, I'm pretty sure by the end of this year will be IWGP Tag Team Champions. I don't think that's a very wild prediction. To have them beating Goto and that is a bit average.
I wonder if they win them in Wagga Wagga.
Surely there's going to be a well.
I'm pretty sure that's where. Thinking about it now, that's where it's happening.
Oh, then again, I was certain that Robbie was winning the freaking junior tag belt in the good old Melbourne Showdown show. Yeah, which I'm drawing a blank on what that venue's called, and I pass it all the time when I go in the city. Yeah, so I wouldn't be shocked. Festival Hall. That I knew it was some sort of hall. I was going to say Melbourne Hall, but yeah, Festival Hall. My brain's just not working. Wagga Wagga would be good. Old mate Kyle's a good old country boy.
No, he's not. He's from Newcastle.
Isn't he? Isn't Newcastle a country?
No, not really. It's like one of the second biggest towns in New South Wales.
I'm not good with geography.
Yeah. I think it's
You've been in the car with me.
Sydney,
you
Newcastle,
know that.
Wollongong are like the 3 biggest.
Oh, well, you've seen me driving. You've been in the car and my direction skills. I am an idiot. But yeah, at least it's in his state.
I imagine that's where they win them. That'd be cool. Seeing them win them at home.
Yeah, exactly. Wagga Wagga.
The other major talking point from that match was how I still cannot get over how tight FTR cut getting to this show.
Oh, that is
clearly not intentional. Like, there's been
Yeah.
flight chaos in the US the last like month, but for them to get
Oh,
there
yeah.
literally hours before the show started, like,
See, that's what I was certain. I'm like, surely TK just gets the private jet out. It's like, all right, let's just go. You know,
yeah,
I'm just saying he could. I'm just saying if they flew from Seattle, there's a Concorde there. They just fire that thing up and off you go.
like
He's got the money.
I'm trying to think. I don't think they flew from Seattle though, because they weren't on that Seattle show.
Oh, but isn't like Seattle again? We do reiterate to our previous discussion. I'm not good at geography. Isn't
Yeah,
Seattle
no, 'cause-
closest to like Japan as a
Yeah, but they
hub
weren't
to
there.
get there?
They weren't
Oh,
there because that was the
I
same
would have
day.
thought they would have flown out. Yeah, I would have thought they would have flown out of Seattle or San
No, 'cause-
Francisco.
I'm pretty sure they had Mexico the weekend before New Japan.
Yeah,
So then they went from Mexico, where they lost the belts, back to Florida, where they live, I think.
yeah.
From Florida, they would have flown to probably LA or San Fran.
Yeah, and then like left
from
from
one
there.
of those to Japan. But
Yeah.
flight chaos, they got there. I think Dax or Cash posted on an Instagram story, and I'm pretty sure the pre-show had started. And they were in a car on the way to the venue. Like, oh, geez.
Yeah.
That's
no,
fun.
I
14-hour flight immediately into a match on one of
which
the biggest
is
shows
why,
of the year.
Which is why the match was very, like I'm beyond shocked. Like I can't even function after a 14-hour flight, let alone imagining doing something like that.
Against people that I don't think they've ever wrestled.
Yeah, and in a language, I'm going to take a limb here and say that none of them speak Japanese.
Yeah, I can't imagine Dax fluent Japanese.
I'm trying not to be too much of a prick by saying that, but I think it's not unreasonable to think two country boys from the southern US are fluent in Japanese.
Yeah,
They could be big anime fans.
Goto and YOSHI-HASHI probably have very broken English, but yeah.
Again, they're two people I suspect.
With those factors in mind, this match was pretty good. But other than that, I was kind of like, largely forgettable.
Yeah, I'm a bit salty they FTR never got a really good New Japan run, which was a bit because I think they defended the belts on a random New Japan show in November, and then that was it. Like, I think they did obviously the UK show, but like Japan.
Yeah, they didn't go to Japan and do like a 6-week tour.
Yeah, or defend the belts
or World Tag League.
Yeah, which I understand.
Send them
TK
to do World Tag League. That would have been smart.
But so at least they've dropped them. Their AEW storyline continues, and it'll be interesting to see where they go next.
Yep. And then from there we moved on to another title match, a brand new title, the ugliest title I've ever seen, the NJPW World TV Championship between Zack Sabre and Ren Narita.
Yeah, that is so ugly. It looks like a actual like a trophy more than a belt.
Yeah, it looks like the sort of belt you get for like a fantasy league.
Yeah, or hey, a non-wrestling fan make a belt.
Employee of the Year award.
Yeah, that's that's more what it looks like. It's like, oh, okay, cool. We're doing another one of these.
Yeah. Not a nice belt. It and the KOPW title both look terrible. The straps look really cheap and like stiff. Like they look.
Oh, the shit brown.
And like even the KOPW one is blue, but like they're just real stiff. They look. They don't look like leather. The KOPW one even has Velcro on it, and it's not even blue Velcro. It's a black strip of Velcro as the buckles.
Oh my god!
I was like, what is going on? It looks so cheap and tacky. But belts aside, this was a really solid technical match as expected with Zack Sabre Jr.
Yeah.
And
that's that.
I think he did a good job of highlighting Ren Narita and the potential that kid has.
Yeah. I'm beyond shocked. Me and Tyler were kind of like shit talking with each other, going, "Oh, it's a belt for all the up and comers and all the newbies." Zack Sabre
And then
Jr.
Zack
wins,
Sabre Jr. wins it, who's
but it's like,
36 or something.
is he 36? I thought he was 20. I thought he was like 32 or something.
No, I'm pretty sure Zack's old.
Because I'm pretty sure they said that he was young, and I'm like, wait, what?
No, Zack Sabre's not young.
Here, if you Google it, I bet you any money. Because if I Google it, I'll somehow get
30,
sidetracked.
35, born on the best birthday of all time, the 24th of July. Except he's a year earlier than me, 1987.
Oh, okay, yeah. I was gonna say, wait a second, is that my missus' birthday or
now
not?
I know why. Now I know why I'm such a big Zack Sabre fan.
The random things you find out when you're googling things.
So yeah, he's 35, and this is supposed to be a title for up and coming guys. I guess they put it on him to like establish some sort of legacy.
Oh, it was very obvious he definitely winning it, because the thing is you want to establish the belt first. It was a solid match, and then the post match
the
stuff as well.
Post-match stuff was the big talking point from this, where he rejoined TMDK back with Mikey Nichols and Shane Haste from their prior days together in Noah. And based on this interaction after the match, and then the backstage interviews, and then what happened on New Year's Dash, it looks like there's some pretty big things in store for TMDK in 2023, and looks like Australian Wrestling Cards could do a whole TMDK set. There are so many members of this now.
Yeah, and the random shout-outs, thanks to Gino as well, that got a nice little shout out as well from this. That, you know, I'm sure you're sitting there writing down there going, wait, do I have him on the cards yet? There. And also because I'm pretty sure after that is when Gino announced, oh yeah, Tushami is coming down to Australia, which makes me think, oh, they're getting Zack Sabre Jr. soon. Random.
Yeah, I imagine TMDK are probably one of the highlights on that tour.
I would say it's. I wouldn't say it's too out of left field that, you know, the new faction, which again is nice to see that, you know, we're getting a new faction that looks pretty solid there.
Yeah, a faction that lost their
Shane
leader
Jonah
recently.
Yeah, Shane Jonah has left and he's off to other things. But Zack Sabre Jr. is a very solid second choice, or, you know, new leader there.
I'm glad.
And, yeah.
I'm also glad it was Zack and not just someone else random on the roster. Like he has a history as a TMDK member, so it wasn't just like, oh, we need an established guy, like a New Japan regular to lead this faction now. It's like, no, you've been with them before. You have this.
Yeah, and in keeping in true New Japan fashion, let's keep all the English-speaking people together. And in their own factions, because, you know, they haven't done that enough with your Bullet Clubs, United Empires, and such. So, no, it definitely seems like they're definitely going all in on them. They've got their own little young boy there as well now.
That was a crazy moment too. Since when does a young lion get drafted into a faction?
When Zack Sabre Jr. says, I will do whatever the F I want.
Yeah, I want my young boy. Oh, okay.
That's it. I ain't carrying my own suitcases, all right? I need someone on retainer. But yeah, they've got
he
their
can
own
have a
young
shirt.
boy.
That's all he's getting.
It's so random, because I'm like, I thought they were doing the whole, join my faction, and then basically just beats up the two, you know,
that's what I thought.
sort of
They're just going to beat down this young boy, like, young lion, like, here you go, we're just going to beat the crap out of you just to establish ourselves as heels. But I'm like, no, he's cool. He can be our roadie.
Yeah. That's it. And the same as like when they gave the shirt to Zack Sabre Jr., because I'm like, this is, I'll admit, I kept an eye on New Japan during COVID, but, you know, haven't really been following all that much. So I'm like, oh, Shane Haste in that. Okay, I'll see what happens here. I thought Zack Sabre Jr. was just going to kick him in the head, or someone was going to run out and, you know, instead it's like, no, we're a team. And it's like, oh.
Yeah. Well, Suzuki
that's
Gun's
easy.
done now, so.
Yeah. Yes.
Cool to see him move across. And I will announce here now early, Shane Haste is officially on Australian Wrestling Cards.
Very nice. Very nice. Very big get.
Pretty stoked with that. When he popped up, I was like, oh, sweet, cool, Shane Haste. And then all of this interaction happened, I was like, even better.
Yeah, I'm sure that was your whole sort of going, yes, this is
I was like,
perfect.
this could not have been better timing. So thanks for that one, Shane. And then we moved on to, for me, the worst match on the card. The Never Openweight Championship. Karl Anderson defending against Tama Tonga. Putting it bluntly, a boring, formulaic match with a pretty botched finish.
Yeah, I don't even think I seen the finish. I think I was too, Tyler was handing me a beer at that time, and I was too busy doing the twist top thing to even, because he's like, hey, you see the botch? I'm like, what?
Tama hit Karl Anderson's gun stun, and Karl didn't take it right.
Yeah,
How do you not take your own finish right?
Yeah, well, like as I said to you earlier, this was the match of like, cool, I better go put puddles to bed. I better go look after my chickens and put them to bed. Make sure they got water. That was the bigger of the importance of then. Oh yeah, it was. It was actually. I waited to see whether or not AJ or Finn came out with Karl, and I'm like, all right, did it by himself. Yeah, so, all right, puddles, bed.
AJ hurt his ankle like the week before, so
yeah,
he may have been planned, but then that didn't happen.
But also, I wouldn't be shocked if it was just more of a, hey, we know if we tweak this one little thing out, everyone's going to run with it, even though, like, AJ's like, mate, I've got a house show that night. I've not I got better things to do. But yeah, it's...
The thing that tipped me off to this was going to be a dud. Karl never even took his shirt off.
The thing that tipped me off of being a dud was Karl Anderson showed up.
Yeah.
that was what I was...
not known for trying most of the time, and that's his whole gimmick too. It's like, my whole gimmick is I get paid a lot and I don't try. Like, that's a good gimmick.
It'd be cool Kevin Nash did that one. It was cool because he's tall and legitimately looks like he doesn't give a shit.
Orange Cassidy has that gimmick of I don't try, but he then goes and has banger matches, and you're like, okay, so he's not trying and he's this good. Whereas Karl goes out and doesn't try and has duds that nobody cares about.
If anything, Karl Anderson has done one good thing, because it seems like he was just scouting talent for Hikulelu and Tama Tonga. So
he just went back to get his old Bullet Club buddies.
Yeah, he's like, hey mate, what's this paperwork I just left on the table? Oh man, that's awkward. Oh, don't look at it before your contract expires. But oh man, I just left this bit of paper lying around.
This whole match just made me remember when Karl and Tama were both really cool? Like, but they've fallen so far from the peak Prince Devitt leading Bullet Club era. Like, these are just guys now.
That's it. Tama Tonga just definitely showing a bit of his age.
I remember Tama in the black tights with the white like face paint, with the red like stripe on the beard. I was like, that's a cool character, and now he's just off-brand generic Iron Man.
Yeah, that was when he came out in the Iron Man suit. I'm like,
it's like Iron Man from Wish.
Yeah, it's like cool,
Samoan Iron Man from Wish.
Yeah, that's it. It's like cool. No, Avengers was like a couple of years ago, sort of thing there. And again, it was like, sweet. That also tipped me off of this match is going to be average when, like, I think he's won that for the last God knows how long outfit. But yeah, I remember like the Guerrillas of Destiny versus the Young Bucks was the ultimate dream match, and we finally got that. And then, he's now someone that I'm like, oh, he's going to WWE. All right.
Yeah, that was my reaction when the news broke that WWE has interest in both Tama and Hikuleo. I was like, if they head there, I'm not going to miss them in the slightest.
Yeah, that was it. Actually, mine was, I see my Apple Watch. Jamie Apps has sent you something. I looked at it and it's something from Twitter from Shinra Sap. I like instantly drop it. I go run to my phone. I'm like, okay, this is either going to be really messed up or really like, sort of thing, which was,
and it was neither. It was kind of like, okay.
It was like, all right, cool. I'm gonna go back to like sorting my mate's
Anything-
cables out into a storage
anything else.
container. Like, yeah, all right, cool. Like, I guess it's back to whatever I was doing at 11:30 at night. But yeah, the match was. I'm having more fun
It was a
just
match.
talking dumb shit to you. Then watching that, I was like, yeah, that's. So the next match happened.
Yeah, it's basically just like what the never open weight belt. Like it has never been amazing. Like I think when Ishii held it, and maybe when Jay White had it for a little while, it was kind of cool. Now it's just there, and I don't know what they're going to do if Tama leaves. Who are they going to put it on? Probably just put it back on Ishii or Suzuki. Just like you guys have it, and just go and kill each other, like whatever.
Yeah, it's one of those belts. It's like
at this point.
Remember when they tried to do something with it with Ospreay and Ibushi, and it was like the forbidden door card of like, oh, juniors can now fight heavyweights if you hold this special title. I think that lasted for about a week.
Yeah, well, that has been what this belt is supposed to be. Like juniors and heavyweights can go for it because it's an open weight belt. But yeah, it's predominantly just been heavyweight dudes.
Yeah. So yeah,
and dudes like
that was about
dudes that are moving up.
Yeah, or just kind of like, we don't really have much for you at the moment. Here, go play with this.
Maybe they put it on like a Despy or something and have him move up to the heavyweights.
Yeah, or just use it as a way, to transition upwards, see how it goes, or hey, look, just play with this for a bit. We don't care. So, but yeah.
Then we moved on to another kind of match that was just on the card. The 6-man tag team match. Keiji Muto's retirement, or New Japan retirement match. Keiji Muto, Hiroshi Tanahashi, and Shota Umino versus Los Ingobernables de Japón, which was Tetsuya Naito, Sonata, and Bushi. And again, a largely skippable match. Also weird that Muta didn't take the pin.
Yeah, that was weird. Because I was
you're retiring. Shouldn't you be putting over like a Naito or a Sonata or something?
Yeah, because you always go out on your back, but also
he was out of the building before the match was over.
Yeah, which is everyone said that like last week. It's like, yeah, he's the match is over. He's done. He's out of here. It was good that they gave Shooter something, and they used it correctly because again, I guess out of everyone in that match, he probably is the one that could use the win. Even though you could argue Naito could always do it for win because he is the best, but they have put that rocket on Shooter's back and they are shooting him to the moon.
Yeah,
pun intended.
He does have a lot of potential, especially like the Mox tie-ins, the matches with Ospreay. Like I can see him being a massive star.
Yeah,
but didn't like Muto's train Sonata, so it would have made sense for Sonata to beat him. I would have thought, as like a respect.
Because he came from
master passing the torch to the student.
Yeah,
it was just a match. Just like, oh, whatever. That was weird.
Yeah, that was it. Because it's like, it's Keiji Muta's last match, and the giant Muta and this Muta and that Muta. It's like this weird, like it's so funny of a retirement of like. It's the same person. Like I kind of want to see it more. Like someone goes from their retirement tour and just does all their gimmicks in an order of like, well, yeah, it's
Jericho
my retirement
and Foley's retirement tour runs for 10 years.
Yeah, that's it. It's like, this is the last ever Dude Love match. This is the last ever. Like, it's just so
that'd
dumb.
Be great.
That is genius. And that's like what I would pay. That is how I'd pay to see Jericho's retirement tour, which is basically what he's done in AEW recently. And just like, no, this is advertising.
Lionheart, The List, Y2J, The Wizard, the Influencer.
Oh,
Jesus.
The guy that, like all of his just weird and wonderful gimmicks over the years. The man of 10,000 holds. That's what I just want to see a Moodle run like that.
15,000 characters.
Just, I want to see that. That is the one thing I laughed about it because, like, again, Tyler was like, didn't didn't Muta retire the other day at Noah? I'm like, yes, that
Yeah,
was Muta,
that was
not
great.
Keiji
That
Muta.
was great
Oh,
Muta's final match.
sorry, the great Muta. Sorry, fucked up my
And
own
that was
joke
a
there.
great match.
Yeah, that was good. Shinsuke showed up.
That was great.
And
Shinsuke
then
tried. Carl
yeah,
Anderson, not so much. So it wasn't a WWE directive of just take it easy on these matches?
yeah, and also at the same time, on that Noah thing, did you know it was WWE superstar Shinsuke Nakamura?
Oh,
WWE
God.
superstar
Yeah,
WWE
they Michael Cole that one.
Oh boy, that's what I was like. If they do that during I already wasn't paying attention to that match, but if they were just going to go WWE, I was like almost tempted to start taking shots, which would then be you telling me what happened for the rest of the show. I'm like, I don't remember that, and it's like I was playing shots to fucking WWE superstar.
The match before that though, that was insane.
Oh,
Like
that Falcon Arrow.
I don't watch much Noah, but that Falcon Arrow off the top rope onto the apron to the floor. Jesus Christ. I watched it, I was like, you just killed that guy.
That.
He's dead. He has a broken back in 15 places.
Yeah, I'm laying on the couch trying to book stuff for my holiday, which I should have booked maybe 3 to 4 months ago. And I'm like, no, MacBook down, time to watch this. That was insane. I don't really watch a lot of Noah. But yeah, then you have
that show actually sold me on Noah. Like their production value is incredible.
Yeah, that is something that if someone reminds me, hey, like this is their next big show, because I don't know how they work. And it's like, hey, this is the show.
They've got
best one to watch.
The New Japan crossover show at the end of
the yeah, and then I think that ties
great.
into then that ties into Muta's last match with Sting and Darby. As random as that is.
Yeah, that's gonna be pretty crazy.
That again, that would be absolutely off the rails. I don't know who he's facing for that.
So yeah, following that like weird lull in the middle of Wrestle Kingdom, we came back with 3 pretty solid concluding matches for the show. First off with the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship 4-way match. Taiji Ishimori versus Hiromu Takahashi versus El Desperado versus Master Wato, who was a weird inclusion for me, but probably one of the better combatants in this match. Like, he had a great match.
Yeah, Master Wato made me go, you've got bird brains sitting in Sydney.
Sitting in a pub in Sydney.
Doing whatever. Yeah. Again, I'm pretty sure that's probably one of his favourite places. I don't know if the pub had pokies or not. I'm sure that probably would have made it better for him. He's sitting in Sydney. I would imagine playing Big Red while the match is going on, going, screw this, Max. Annoyed he's not in the match. It's just how I picture that went down. Probably getting some good re-triggers on it with the kangaroo in the tree, but nonetheless, it was a good showing. Like, I love the 4-ways when they do them on Wrestle Kingdom. I think the last time they did it was the one with Ospreay and that. And it just always goes off. It goes off because
4-way.
Yeah, and it's perfect. You go bang, 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 and it's just off the rails. And yeah, Hiromu coming out on top is how it should have been.
Yeah. Like I never really connected with Master Wato up until this match, but I thought he had a great showing. He like actually solidified himself as okay, this is a legitimate dude that they seem to have some faith in. But yeah, Hiromu was definitely the right call. And the person that needed to walk out of this and set up some future matches. I do recall Robbie calling him out, or he may have called out Ishimori. Called out the champion a while back, saying next time Tamashi's here, you're coming back. So if they bring Takahashi down for that show, even though it's like a week before I leave, I will have to go.
Yeah, no, that's definitely something because, again, when I was at my mate's place and, like, we're packing and that, and I'm like, hey, you know how we've got all these plans and, like, I'm leaving I'm not going to be here for the whole of March and I've got 1,000 things ones on do. What you doing on February 3rd? Which I'm like, this is going to be fun. And if they turn around and say Hiromu versus Robbie on that show,
that's a banger.
I might even have to drive up to Sydney for that.
Well, yeah, I think
If
I would imagine if they're going to give Robbie a title match, it would be in Sydney, not Melbourne.
you would think so, but also somehow Melbourne just tends to always just go what? No, screw it, we're doing it here.
Trying to think,
Um,
what junior heavyweights? Oh, they could give. Does Slex count as a junior?
he's jacked like a heavyweight.
Yeah, no, that's what I was thinking. Maybe maybe it doesn't count as a junior. What juniors do you have in Melbourne that are in the country at the moment, not overseas?
I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure going off most of my Instagram feed, it's either, hey, that looks like Santa Monica Beach. Is it Santa Monica Beach or is it St Kilda Beach? Is kind of or in Sydney it's Bondi Beach or Santa Monica Beach is the game you're playing of where is this person today? Man, there are quite a few, and I know I'm trying to I know who I'm
Brooksy's not in the
got a
country.
picture. Yeah, no, Brooksy's off living it up in the US.
And like in Melbourne, he would have been my top choice, but he's not in the country.
Yeah, yeah.
Robbie
No,
is more Sydney based. Mick is Sydney based.
I would have said Royce, but he's
Royce is
retired.
semi-retired.
Yeah, so that would be a whole other level of
So yeah,
off the rails. But
I
yeah,
can't think
man,
of any junior heavyweights in Melbourne that would fit the
I,
bill.
I swear later tonight I'll probably message you going, oh yeah, and we'll both go, how did we forget about blank? But my mind is just completely gone,
But
yes.
knowing, like, yeah, I guess Slex also has the match against Okada, so he's technically a heavyweight.
Yeah, yeah.
That ruins that. Because I was like, they could chuck him in there and say he's a junior like they did with Shingo for
That's
2 years. He's a junior heavyweight.
Yeah,
He's a junior heavyweight. Yeah, he's massive. He's bigger than some of the heavyweights.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, Shingo's a heavyweight, and I can still wear size small t-shirts. Yeah,
Yeah, that was
yeah,
a very
that
weird situation for like 2 years.
that was
Shingo's walking around with the junior heavyweight belt. Bro, he's bigger than Will, and Will's a heavyweight.
yeah, and then when he broke out, everyone's like, "Oh wow, shocker!" On that one there, but it will be interesting who they pull off. Definitely down here, and yeah, Robbie will always put on a banger for that junior heavyweight title. Hopefully, he gets a good run in front of a proper crowd. But man, that 4-way was so good. Just bang, 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 bang. Got you. Everyone got their shit in.
Yeah, it was good to like get the energy back up to lead into the IWGP US Championship match, which was kind of one of the marquee matches on the show, if not the marquee match. Will Ospreay versus Kenny Omega.
Yeah, no, definitely. And as I was about to say, was the only thing that was missing from this Kingdom show was the random 6-man tags, 8-man tags at the start of the show.
Yeah, they haven't done that recently on Kingdom shows because they have so many people.
That's it, like, because that was always the start of it, and then it would lull, and then just go like this, and then just bang.
You get the 4-way, and it just go mental from there.
Yeah. So and there was at the end of the 4, I think it was at the start of the 4-way where my mate messaged me going, "You told me the show was going to 11:30. It's 9:30, and there's 3 to go." And I'm like,
we powered through 6 matches in 2-3 hours. I'm like, oh jeez.
Yeah, and then it was like, mate, just watch.
Yeah, the next 2 were massive.
And then this, and yeah, that DDT was one of the most scariest things in the world. That I've seen. I'm jumping ahead a bit there.
Yeah,
because I did want to talk about the entrances were also just off their head.
Yeah, so we started with. We'll go from the beginning of the match. Started with the epic Kenny Omega entrance inspired by Sephiroth from Final Fantasy with the One-Winged Angel. They made full use of those big screens, and holy crap, that was epic. That was so cool.
Yeah,
the funniest part in the day after, I was watching Kind of Funny Games Daily on YouTube.
Yep.
And they did a live reaction to it, but then they had to cut it out because they were like, someone tipped them off like, yeah, cut that out because New Japan are
Yeah,
real bad.
yeah.
That sort of stuff. And I did see that they tweeted it out, so I saw their reaction before it got cut from the YouTube thing, but I don't know if they deleted that tweet, so I'll have to check. I hope they did, or they're going to lose their whole Instagram account. Like, that's bad shit.
I got one that, again, this is so stupid and so on brand. I was so salty they didn't have Devil Sky playing at first, because, you know, we haven't heard that song in so long. And a mutual friend of ours, Nick, is like, oh, it's so cool they had the Final Fantasy reference in it. And he's like, oh, it's so cool it came out to One Winged Angel. I'm like, mate, you're stupid. It's called Devil Sky, you dirty casual. Yeah, don't argue with him when it comes to Final Fantasy stuff. Promptly reminding me how much of an effing idiot I am. And then we got Devil Sky the next night, which I was quite happy about. But yeah, Kenny's entrances are always on point.
Yeah, that one was epic. Like the moment when he like swung his arm out and the wing like popped out, like, whoa, so cool.
No, that he always delivers.
And he
old
even
mate
did
Willie
like,
coming out with his
he did the like full like turn evil look at the camera that you get from Final Fantasy games. Like, yep, Kenny's a nerd.
Oh no, he delivers. He always does. I'm starting to slowly understand half the references as I make my way through my backlog of what is Undertale, what is Final Fantasy VII. Slowly understanding what half these entrances are. So give it a couple of years and I might finally fully understand most of it.
And then following that, we had Will's entrance, returning to the aerial assassin character and bringing back Elevated.
Oh, banger.
Such a good theme. Although I do like the United Empire theme, but yeah, it was cool to see this one back. And I wonder if that's going to end up playing into the future story with these two of the assassin can't beat the cleaner, but the kingpin can beat AEW Kenny. The kingpin can beat Elite Kenny, but the assassin can't beat the cleaner.
Yes, and that's definitely where I think it's going, because it would be the whole, oh, you're just a member of the Elite, you just play, you know, your goofy BTE bits in America. Ospreay knocks him off.
Yeah,
Kenny comes back to Japan and be like, all right, mate, let's go, and goes. So that will be a lot of fun, because for a fact this is going to be a massive trilogy. Omega loves his trilogies.
Yeah, this is definitely not the end. Like, this match was super violent, super vicious at times, but I also still felt like they were holding a lot back. They didn't go balls to the wall on this. Like, it was nuts, but they still held a lot back. And like you mentioned, that DDT on the top rope onto the exposed turnbuckle, holy shit, I thought he was dying.
Yeah, and the blood,
I did like
I'm like,
full
what?
Audible cringe, like, oh.
Yeah, I like I said, especially at later time of night, family are trying to sleep, contain yourself. And I just let out this squeal of like, what that is, and then he just comes up, just drenched in blood, and you're like, oh.
Yeah, like legit puddles on the ground of blood. I was like, oh, jeez.
Yeah, it wasn't a little nip and tuck. That was a big cut.
Yeah, that was, and then it just got more violent. Like, we had the double foot stomp onto the table, and then Kenny driving Will's face through the table. That was also nuts. And
the nice little Shining reference.
Yes, that was the "Here's Johnny Kenny" face. That was great. I thought that was hilarious. As soon as he did that, I was like, "Oh yeah, that's a Shining reference. That's cool."
Yeah, that was it. Like this.
I sent Karina that because she loves
memes afterwards.
I sent Karina that screenshot because she loves like horror movies. I was like, "Here you go. Here's Kenny being your best mate."
Here's Kenny. Hey, Kenny, I'm Grandpa. The best Simpson joke I've seen about that. effing howled laughing when I see it the next morning. But oh man, they just fucking went for it. They just demolished it, and there was like that super hurricanrana backflip thing off the top rope as well, if I remember correctly.
And
Like,
even Will was like
yeah, because
crazy vicious as well. Like he hit the hidden blade in the face. He always hits it from behind, but he hit it in the face. I'm like, oh Jesus!
I was shocked Kenny kicked out there. I was like, oh wow, like you know what I mean? Like I was like, because I was certain Kenny's not winning.
Hmm?
Why would Kenny win?
Yeah,
And Kenny won, and it's like, oh,
and he
shit,
won
okay,
with a very particular combination of moves too.
yeah, that was like I have to say before we go into that promo from Ken Ospreay.
Oh, at the
Where he
press
goes
conference?
full British, full
lad.
British. Like yeah, that was like again. I showed that to my mate yesterday because I was like, yeah, I'm like, oh, you haven't seen? He's like, oh, what's been happening in play fighting? I'm like, watch this. He's like, did he kill him? Like, did he stab him during the match? Like that was where you kind of thought it was going, but yeah, he went full British.
Yeah, and like there was a lot of real emotions in that promo too. Like,
that
was a great promo.
That was just wow, and that played into it. I'm like, Ospreay's winning. There's no chance. He has to win after
he's
that promo. He's
incredibly fired up.
And yeah, then the nice it just unbelievably goes from calling the C word, which I'm pretty sure you're going to get very angry if I say. Multiple
times. Him that a lot.
Yeah, which again to us is like that's normal, but that venom. As I said, you could say the C word. It's how you say that C word is between I'm going to stab you and I'm going to get you another drink.
Mm-hmm.
Is how that word translates very well. And talking about, the situation that happened with his mate that sadly happened, to then draw that into knocking out Ibushi was like, how that is a roller coaster of a ride in a 2-minute promo.
Yeah, so good. And even like Don had a great line in that too, where that press conference where he talked about when Kenny left, it was raining, and it wasn't just raining, it was God crying that the god of pro wrestling was leaving Japan. Like, wow.
The way with words is just incredible.
But then, like we were saying, the match ended with a very particular sequence of moves. Will giving Kenny the finger of like, I'm defeated, but I'm defiant. I'm not going to give up. And then Kenny hits the Kamigoye into the one-winged angel, gets the 1, 2, 3, which that combined with the Kota Ibushi shirt that Kenny wore on Dynamite the week prior, that's again another one of those something's happening here. TK isn't like, although he did let Eddie Kingston wear a Charlie Evans shirt and nothing came out of that. But
yeah,
perhaps it was just
a bit of a
perhaps it was just to lead into this match of like, remember what he did to my best friend who I still support.
Yeah.
But, yeah. All of these factors added together makes me think Kota is not far away from a potential AEW appearance.
That's what I'm thinking, because I was just thinking that when you said that, I'm like, so surely it's the Golden Lovers.
Yeah.
The Golden Lovers versus Ospreay, but it's like, who's Ospreay's right-hand man? Like, there's a lot of them in that faction, like, because I think Aussie Open's pretty much the second biggest in that group.
Yeah.
But they're a tag team. Like, you're not going to throw in the mouthpiece guy.
Yeah, it won't be Gideon.
You reckon Hirooki?
I reckon, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's what but even... Yeah, but like, again, even Aaron Hanare, it's... Ospreay's up here. I wouldn't... not
the
disrespectful,
Golden Lovers
but,
are up here. Ospreay's here. Hanare's down here. He's not on that level.
Yeah. That's why it's like, you put that match on paper and you're like, oh yeah, so Hiranare is taking the pin. that's we could see that coming from from this point to whenever they announce the match to whenever they do the match away. So that's the only situation now. What I'd say that's definitely where that's leading to, because I would say New Japan don't really give a shit what you do in the matches
I'm
versus
trying to think. The United Empire don't have anyone from Canada yet.
No.
And that's a
Jericho Jericho forces himself into another.
No, I was just thinking like
situation.
That's another Commonwealth country, and like everyone in the
I just realized it's Commonwealth.
Everyone in the United Empire is from a Commonwealth country, loosely.
Yeah,
like TJP's Filipino Commonwealth country. So
is that not a?
It is.
Is that not
yes,
one?
It is. That's
okay. Good.
He lives in America, but he's Filipino, so that's his connection.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's a fair point. Yeah.
Maybe there's like a Canadian wrestler that they're looking at potentially adding, and then he can be the partner. Sure there's someone that's a great way to like elevate them up to that level. But I don't know. I'm sure the Golden Lovers is happening at some point.
Oh, that's again one of my safe bets for 2023. What do you expect? That is one of the. Oh yeah, okay, cool. You're picking the safety bets.
Yeah, so I don't know. We'll see when that happens.
Maybe it'll happen in Wagga Wagga.
I'm thinking maybe a Revolution, depending on what Kota's contract status is, or All Out.
I think a lot of it will come.
Double or Nothing, maybe. That could be huge.
I reckon a lot of it will come from what happens in that ladder match. Because if you got your 6-man tag, you don't want
a fourth guy.
Because they didn't really make a lot of room. Yeah. Or, hey, his 6-man tag chance, but because this thing happening in Japan's going on, we don't care what's happening on our weekly show. We're going to play around with Japan because they're a fun new toy to play with, Because they didn't really advertise this match at all on AEW. Like, there was no call-outs. The ref, like, the announcers weren't like, oh, yeah, Kenny just had this hilarious match. But, for $9.99, get your New Japan World subscription and watch him versus Ospreay. Yeah. There was nothing, which was quite shocking. I thought that was very shocking that they didn't make any references to it.
They're going to have to reference it this week because Kenny's got a massive black eye.
Yeah,
Like what?
Don't worry, that was just from the beatdown.
Why does Kenny have really long hair and a black eye now? What happens?
He fell down a flight of stairs.
So they're going to have to reference it, and perhaps that is the reason that they don't win the belts back, even though I don't see that happening.
Yeah, that's because
after making this epic comeback to get to the 7th match, to then lose in the 7th would be weird.
But yeah, that's and also it's a ladder match, but it's also one of those things that it's a ladder match, so nobody really loses. No one takes a clean pin, but you've had 7 clean pins before.
Yeah, I think perhaps another way that they lose is Kota shows up, and maybe Cole returns.
I'm for sure thinking Cole showed up. I always thought he was.
Remember when Cole debuted and they did the double return? Like, Adam Cole's here to save the day, yeah. And then Kota comes in and takes him out. Like, they do the whole double cross, and we get the Cole and Young Bucks group back as a trio. Kota and Kenny, Golden Lovers, split off again. And then they go after
which is basically what was.
And that would make sense, and like they can be like, we couldn't win the 6-man belts with Kenny, but we can win them with Adam.
Yeah, or you just have Adam Cole versus Ibushi, where Ibushi kicks him in the head. That sounds like a great idea.
Let's not do that. That seems like a terrible idea.
Yeah. But yeah, but other than that, it was a solid. Big Uncle Dave, Daddy Dave, gave it a good old 6.75 out of 5.
No, 6.25, 6.25.
I thought it was 6.75.
I'm pretty sure it was only 6.25.
No, because it's the second highest rated match ever, and Dave's given several 6.25s. Because then 7 stars is like the other biggest one.
So he gave one match a 7,
Yeah, which is the 2 out of 3 falls Kenny Omega versus Okada
Yep.
match.
And then he's got 2 6.25s.
Okay. Yeah. So technically it is the second,
Yeah.
even though it's like second and third highest rated. Okay.
Yeah, so it's
Yeah.
Kenny Okada 2 out of 3 falls was a 7. This match was 6.25, and Okada Kenny from 2017 was 6.25. Ospreay Shingo
Yep.
from 2021 was 6. So
Yeah. And then there's heaps of like 5 points, whatever. So that's probably what I was getting myself
there's
confused.
5 6s or 6 6s.
Yeah.
And Will's in.
And again, we're just starting.
Will's in a bunch of them.
Oh,
And
yeah. Because
Okada
I
and
looked it up the
Omega in
other
a
day.
bunch.
Yeah.
I did see Will.
Yeah, I think they're the ones that broke the scuff.
Will has like the most 5-star matches of all time, apparently.
That can't be.
I think he might be
I guess
behind.
because Omega kind of slowed down.
He might be behind Masawa as the only other person, but he's like
Yeah.
2, top 3 of 5-star matches, which is nuts with how many years he probably still has left.
Yeah, exactly, and how he's changed his style to have years left, and yeah, and like I said, it's not bad for someone that transitioned from a backyarder that was talking to old mate Bird Brains to where he is now.
Incredible match, totally deserved the rating that it got. Forbidden Door 2 rematch, bring it on.
Yeah, that's definitely what I reckon. I reckon you go your tag match. Then your tag match leads into your Forbidden Door 2. Ospreay gets his belt back because I don't think Kenny's going back and forth to Japan very often.
And I think Forbidden Door 2 either has to be at a massive stadium because it's going to draw even more than it did last time. Maybe TIA Bank in
I was just about to say that because I was going to say,
because at least
I'm not a Florida expert.
At least running a big venue like that, if you own it, it's fine. It's not going to break you. Whereas if they ran like a Dallas stadium and didn't fill it, that's a big money loss and looks bad. But if they run their own stadium, who cares how many it draws? It's going to be a record.
That's it. It's easy for them to tap off half the building. They're used to it. Jaguar fans don't even bother showing up.
And it's going to draw like a record crowd for them, and that's all you tout. You just tout record attendance. Especially if the only thing is the main event is Kenny Ospreay 3. The PWG match, this one, and a third one at I'll take a third one at
Forbidden Door 2.
That's all you need for that show. You don't need to announce anything else.
That's it. Like, a lot of people, like, I haven't seen them. If they haven't seen the match, they've seen the hype. They know this is going to be off the head because you can't. I don't think you could run your small Sirius Center of 20K for something like that. You need a little bit more oomph behind it,
especially because
TI Banks.
Like the last one was such a phenomenal show for both companies, and that was with a whole bunch of like random COVID changes at the last minute and injuries and stuff where Hiromu didn't get to wrestle on that show. I don't think Despy ended up being on the show. Cole got injured like super early. Brian was out. Like, imagine.
Yeah, Punk fucked his leg.
Yeah, like imagine we get Forbidden Door 2 with the epic roster that we do FTR versus Aussie Open again. We do Kenny versus Will. You do Okada versus Mox or Hangman. You do MJF versus someone. Naito.
That's what I was going to say. Is like Naito, or you just don't have him on the show just to further the storyline of I'm not doing that Japanese flippy floppy stuff.
Just have him cut a promo on how stupid Japan is. Something like that. We had the main event of this. Maybe we're talking about MJF. Yep. If Jay White sticks around, MJF Jay White could be cool.
That would be, again, because, you wouldn't expect that's not your full New Japan match. That would be very hybrid style, very, you know, it'd be interesting what the setup is for
And they're
that
kind of
match.
both dudes that
Because Jay White
they're
can,
both dudes that people don't expect a lot out of in their matches. But when they do have matches, they
yes,
both deliver.
exactly that. That is why
And they
that
can
would
both
be
talk.
probably up there.
The
That's
promos in the lead up would be great.
Jay White knows how to talk. That is exactly it. Jay White knows how to carry on and talk his head off. So that would be interesting to see. But Forbidden Door 2 is just going to be a mental show. That is going to be a monster success, especially now that New Japan's starting. Because after this show, so many people I see on Twitter go, "Yeah, I kind of wrote New Japan off. Who wants to come spend New Year's in Japan with me?" Was the everyone's like,
yeah, I've never
so
been.
we're going to
I'm gonna
Japan.
go to Wrestle Kingdom. Like for me, if I'm doing a Japan trip, it's in the weird time, middle of summer for them. Best of Super Juniors. Sweat my nuts off in Korakuen.
Yeah, well, I'm not a big fan of the cold, and you will know about it in about 48 days when I blow up your phone going, I effing hate this, I don't like this, I hate this is shit, and just bitching and whinging to you to the point where you're like,
Yeah,
mute.
March they should be coming out of the crazy cold.
Yeah, but I also know a lot of my British friends who I message going, it's 10 degrees, I hate this. And the response is, grow
That's
up.
warm, bro.
That is nothing.
That's a nice
Yeah.
day.
That's shorts and a t-shirt weather. And I'm like, no, that's the thermals. That's the, the $500 Daddy Dan jackets and thermal pants that you wear outside going, I don't like this. I wouldn't mind dealing with some snow. As someone that's never seen any snow in his life, seeing some in Japan would not be bad. I'm sure you would love a little bit of cold, chilly snow.
No.
It'd be like the end of
I
The
would
Shining.
much prefer, I'll go to Japan, middle of summer and humid sweatbox Korakuen, thanks. Best of Super Junior
like
finals
I said,
is probably the best you get out of me.
I'll go to the toilet and come back 5 seconds later, here on snow, just like crunched over like the end of The Shining, and it's like, shit. But Japan sounds like fun in the for the Tokyo Dome. That would just be another level of weird. But that's what I was seeing. A lot of people going, yeah, I gave up on New Japan and now I'm back because this was. Yeah, and that was what this show was. It was the perfect coming back, and we haven't even spoken about the main event yet.
Yeah, so on that front, the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship, Jay White versus Kazuchika Okada. Your typical Okada Wrestle Kingdom main event, where like the first 10, 15 minutes don't really matter.
Yeah, that's a standard. It's not till you hit the half an hour mark, which again is funny. My mate who watched it for the first time wasn't used to the 25 minutes pass. How they do that over the commentary, and and he's like, and I'm like, hey, what did you think of that? And he's like, I was trying to work it out the whole night. What the hell they were talking about? What was this sound? And I'm like, no, it's just them letting you know that they have time limits. The same as the return of Kenny.
Yes.
The high-pitched female. That was, and everyone clapping, saying Okada is always, they're staples of a Wrestle Kingdom.
Yeah, so like, this was, your standard Okada match where it was kind of really slow, drawn out to begin with, but in the end delivers high quality. And once we got that like full flow of counters and big moves, I was like, okay, here we go. We're ready to go. But they were in such a difficult spot following Will versus Kenny. Like, I don't know what they could have done to top that match. Like, aside from
that's exactly
like Okada murders Jay White in the ring.
That was exactly like I was kind of dreading the Bullet Club run in. Okada hits him with 5 Rainmakers in a row, and like his head is just literally just like hanging on, and then the ref gets pulled out.
Yeah.
And then we go for another, and then all of them run in, beat him down, and Jay White, gets up and hits the Blade Runner, and then Okada kicks out, and and it's Rainmaker for you, Rainmaker for that. Then it's either, the low blow, Blade Runner 1, 2, 3, or Okada just then kicks his head off. I mean, takes his head off with a Rainmaker 1, 2, 3. Okada wins. Like that's. I'm glad they didn't do that.
Yeah, it definitely. It was just it wasn't overbooked, and it was.
That's it. But it was nice that it was a. I'm probably gonna get shit for this. Largely forgettable match for an Okada Tokyo Dome show, if you know what I mean. Like it was. Yeah, the last 15 minutes was great, but at least it wasn't overbooked.
Yeah, it's like if I'm recommending one, even two matches on this show, it's not one of those two matches.
That's exactly it, and that's why I said it's largely forgettable, but that's because of the competition you have on this show and just Okada matches in general. Like he can just do some unbelievable things.
It's just the position they were in was really difficult, and the outcome was predictable, or relatively predictable too, given that this was essentially a tribute show to Antonio Inoki, who passed away in October last year. So there was only ever one guy that was going to be standing tall at the end of this show, and it was
with
the guy from New Japan.
Yeah, and also at the same time, this is the reboot. Like I as I said, this was kind of a hey, look, we know we lost you all during COVID, but come back. Like they tried last year this with Okada winning at the Dome and getting the new belt and his crowning moment, and then
still
last year was kind of still the most ugliest looking thing in the world. But it's
especially when Okada puts it on around his waist and it's like almost wraps around him twice.
Yeah. And this felt like this is a good point to get all your mates back on board, and for everyone to kind of start giving us a chance again. Cheering made it so much better, but you knew Okada wasn't losing, especially with all the Jay White rumors of is he leaving, is he going, is he staying, is he not? I
did see apparently Jay White has like 2 years left on his contract, so if that's the case, he's not going anytime soon.
But everyone was carrying on like he had like literally 30 seconds left. Like his contract expired the second he got pinned in that main event. It's like, oh yeah, his contract's over.
No.
That's the feeling I had seen online about it all. But again, that does not shock me that people grossly overread things and that online.
Yeah, no, apparently like he has 2 years left, so
so
it makes me think that loser leaves Japan match is Hikuleo's gone. He's
I thought so too. Like when they said a loser leaves, I thought this is just too obvious. This is too obvious and whatnot that it has to be the false flag or whatever the term is there of definitely all the rumors of Jay White's leaving. Let's play into it. Lol, he doesn't lose because you all thought he was. I thought it was too obvious. So maybe it's just his missus just had a kid or something. I've seen people carrying on online as well. I'm like, wait, his missus had a kid?
Let's see.
I haven't been kept up.
Tanahashi posted something in the last day or two about apparently New Japan Strong is ending.
Yes. I did see that this morning. Yes, I know all about this.
The Honor Club returning and Tony talking about the partnership that they apparently have for that. Maybe Strong is like becoming like part of Ring of Honor or something, and it's just going to be under that umbrella and used as like an excursion location instead of Strong being the excursion location. And maybe they send Jay over there for a bit to like, let's refresh you and go, you're a US guy. You're the guy in the US. And Okada
I reckon,
guy.
yeah.
And then Ospreay's the dude we just send everywhere.
Yeah, I reckon it'd be more Hikulelu loses. Jay White gets some monster heat back, especially after losing the belts. rehab him a little bit. Because I believe Chris did say on the announced team that no, you leave the company. It's not a loser leaves Japan, but you go hang out in Mexico for 6 months. It's no, loser leaves, like loser's fired. There's no loopholes in it, because I'm pretty sure they did shut that loophole straight away.
Well,
I'm
with
pretty
the
sure
rumors
that's what
that
he
came
said.
out today, I was like, okay, so
Yeah.
he's actually going to WWE.
Yeah, or if he's not going, it's kind of a, well, we're going to put you on the little. You haven't signed a contract yet, so we're just going to act like you are leaving,
Yeah, we're going
and
to
if
make
you're
sure
not,
we have a
then you
reason.
can come back in a couple of months.
Yeah, we have a reason to write you off.
Yeah,
So
that's right. But I definitely reckon the New Japan together makes it so much easier. I don't watch Strong, but I'll watch it if Ring of Honor and Strong are together instead of watching more programming.
So yeah, that's Wrestle Kingdom. In terms of match of the night, I think it's pretty obvious which one we're dropping there. Ospreay versus Omega, which for me at the moment is match of the year frontrunner. Which makes sense. We're a week
by
into
far.
the year.
Yeah. Yeah, we are only 1 week in.
Which potentially might get toppled this week.
It probably will.
I don't think it will.
But it's also one of those. I love a good car crash. I love a good dumpster fire. I also love a good dumpster fire, as you also know that. So yeah, if it's a car crash, this match, I will absolutely love it.
If they have time, the ladder match could overtake this, but just the amount of emotion in Ospreay Omega makes it hard. Bryan Danielson versus Takeshita, that could also be an absolute banger on Dynamite this week.
That is going to that is absolutely going to over deliver. Bryan is going to make sure he makes Takeshita look like a freaking star.
He's already a massive star.
He's already a massive star, but you know what I mean. He's going to give him that little extra polishing up, and
with the stipulation,
if Bryan loses.
He's not going to, not with the stipulation we have now.
But that's
which kind of annoyed me when I saw that.
I know that.
He's definitely beating Takeshita now.
Yeah, which he kind of should, because Bryan has never won that big match, and he's not beating MJF. We both know that now.
I think MJF holds that belt until this time next year, if not later.
Oh, you kind of have to. Like,
the bidding war of 2024, and he has the belt.
Yeah, the one belt I would say they haven't screwed up is their world title.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I realized I said that after the whole Punk drama, but that's so out of their control that it's
that wasn't storyline screw up.
Yeah, like I said, you've had your TNT title misfires, which is completely on them. You've had tag belts.
They've been pretty solid. They had a couple of weird.
Yeah, they've been solid. Yeah, but I'm not a big. I like my tag team wrestling, but your heavyweight singles division's where it's at. That belt they've never screwed up. So I don't see them taking the belt off him. They do love their 1 year minimum reign as champion, or 6 to 8 month runs as champ minimum. So it'd be interesting.
I just see him holding it as they'll do the whole summer of Punk thing where he has the belt and he walks out.
Yep, and this is the dumb things I think up of sometimes. I just hope he takes a photo holding that belt at Disney, going, "Hey, gonna go hang out with the new owners. I'm at Disney World."
With the WWE news this week of a potential sale. If they sell that and it goes to a TV station, and Vince isn't in charge, and they sort of look at it like, look what he's doing over there with AEW and working with other companies and stuff. And it's paying off big numbers for them. Like that Forbidden Door show. Incredible numbers in terms of income. Why don't we open the floodgates with the WWE and let's work with these guys and cross-promote these things, and the bidding war of 2024 becomes MJF walks out with the belt and he shows up on a Raw. But he's an AEW contracted guy.
that is where things will be very, very interesting. This leads these two talks together. Is that's going to screw up the whole storyline if it becomes the Saudi royal family, which I wouldn't be shocked. I've watched enough half as interesting and real life lore videos on YouTube to comfortably understand how they're putting their money into things and not into dinosaur juice out of the ground. I may not be an expert on it, but like I said, I've watched enough YouTube stuff to call myself an expert, as I just see your eyes rolling in the back of your head. you know, I definitely reckon they will win. They are the only people that can really outbid Disney.
NBC could probably.
And
but then do they want to
if you've got Saudi, yeah, if you've got Saudi money and they want to buy
if
it,
they want
and
to
that's
buy it,
the thing,
they buy
I
it.
reckon Vince. That's exactly it. Like I said, not trying to get into geopolitical stuff and stuff that. Again, I watch YouTube videos to learn stuff. If the Saudis want something, they want it. And I wouldn't be shocked if that's where Vince was, and he was like, "Hey, they kicked me out of my own company. This is bullshit. I just finished watching this TV show Succession. I've got an idea." That's kind of where that's where everything kind of comes from me. Again, nothing shocks me. I wouldn't be shocked if Fox buys them. I don't think
it's
they
one
will.
of their highest rated
But,
shows.
it. Yeah. And Big Dave, Daddy Dave has always said, why are we paying all this money when we can just buy it? And that's what happened with UFC. And yeah, that will be interesting because, like I said, if Disney buys it or Saudi buys it, like I said, they might turn around and Vince 100% in charge. Vince might just turn around and go, no. I just run it like a dictatorship. And that's not trying to be a comment on social political in the Middle East or whatever. But, Vince, and then that whole storyline dies because we know MJF's not going there because of changes, or, they do open the floodgates and go, hey, Fox owns it and they want as high as rating possible, it's one of those things. It is going to be very fucking, and that's why I reckon at the end of the year, the MJF storyline is going to be the biggest egg on their face, or it turns out to have the great payoff. That's it, and that's why, like, I know it's small fish to fry in the whole big grand scheme of the things that sail, but like the bidding war of 2024 either doesn't happen at all and it becomes a flop, or as you said, he shows up because they're like, no. Some fucking venture capitalist that also somehow owns shares in the Jacksonville Jaguars as well. Like how the weird world of sports works and all that sort of stuff there. They're like, yeah, let's play nice.
If the Saudis buy it, there's no hope. Like, because if the Saudis buy it, it's going to be private. Vince is going to be running it.
Vince McMahon's going to be and it's going back to the old ways of Vince running the show.
But if, a Disney or a Fox or an NBC buy it, and they let Vince run it for a little bit, and then they see dwindling numbers, and they go, that's it, out you go. Or new regime change.
But yeah, which I highly doubt, because at the end of the day, you'd have to be stupid, because that's, again, like my limited real life
definitely putting
knowledge
a clause
of things
in there
that
where
I've seen.
Sack me for X amount of years.
Yeah, like I work for a decent sized company where we've sold off divisions and all that sort of stuff there, and I've seen the first thing they do when they got sold, everyone got fired. Everyone that was in the upper management was instantly fired and replaced with guys from the ones that bought them out. And that's Rule 101. I've also watched Suits a lot, so I also understand quite a lot about legal, you clean house. And that's why I'm like, Vince isn't going to sell to someone that's instantly going to fire him.
He's going to make sure,
even for Vince level, that's stupid.
Some sort of cover where he has to stay there for so long, but
and that's it. That's why it's like when you brought up the MJF stuff, I'm like, man, it's because it's like the payoff to the MCW storyline with Lockie, Papa H
ended up just being nothing.
Was bringing him in. and it paid off. It paid off at Wrestle Rock in a song and dance number. That was the payoff to the storyline, and it was like I don't know if there's meant to be more to it or not. I don't know. It's but you don't want that storyline payoff of okay, cool, sweet. You know, that's why it's going to be very interesting to see if they keep going. Because I seen MJF put up a little thing going,
I
Disney
love
that works in my favor.
Companies.
Yeah, and it's like I want to see him go to Disney World and just, you know what I mean, get a photo of Mickey Mouse and be like, oh yeah, just casually seeing what's going on over here.
Yeah, like next time they have like a dark taping, even though it's very unlikely he's ever doing a dark, but just fly him to Orlando.
Yeah.
Just so he can go to Universal, stand in front of the sign. Go to Disney, stand in front of the castle.
Yeah.
Get those photos.
Like that's it. It's get those photos and just have the tongue in cheek of, you know, this is funny because it's so dumb.
I know. I can just see that being like the big story. Get to 2024.
Yeah.
MJF is like, oh, my contract ends the day after Revolution or something. He has this big title match. He wins. And then if that is a potential open where he can go to an Impact or he can go to, if WWE has sold to someone like a Disney and he can show up on a random Raw on the Monday and then back at Dynamite on Wednesday and then SmackDown on Friday, that would be huge and would draw massive numbers on all of those shows. Like, remember when Kenny was doing, like, he was showing up on Raw, on Dynamite, he was showing up on Impact, he was going to Mexico. Like, you could do that.
Yeah.
But you hit that one place that you couldn't go before.
Exactly that. And that's because it's also one of those things, like on the whole MJF thing, it's like, I believe the storyline is his contract expires January 1st. I think that's the story they're trying to tell. I don't know if that's the real date, but I think that's the storyline real date. And it's like, do they do a New Year's Eve show where, you know what I mean?
They always have the New Year's
do a special
Smash, which is the Wednesday before New Year's.
Like that's the thing. I don't know when New Year's Eve is. It'd probably be Monday. For us.
It is.
Monday would be New Year's.
Monday is New Year's Day, so Sunday the 31st.
Oh, so do you? So do you do a pay-per-view on that Sunday and you advertise it as? Because I think WCW did this, or there was one of they were meant to do it where the main event starts at New Year's Eve on New Year's like midnight or something like that, and the fireworks. They do a big fireworks display. I swear I remember something about it. And MJF, the whole thing is he can lose and then no longer be champion, and his contract expires instead of the the Wednesday before. Yeah, sure, whatever. You know what I mean? Like it'd be interesting.
So, I know. We'll see. I'm excited to see how it plays out.
Yeah.
If MJF isn't champion this time next year, I'm going to be very confused.
And that's exactly it. And going back to what started this rant, he's not. Yeah, Brian, hour long. Brian's going to get
cheated on the last
somewhere.
Like, Max is going to be just like they're going to be neck and neck for 59 minutes, and then Max is going to cheat and get the last one.
That's exactly he has a video show up of William Regal looking disappointed at Brian causing the distraction of like, lol, there's your mate. Hey, Regal might be a free agent by then.
Yeah, potentially. So for Wrestle Kingdom overall, out of 5, what would you rate this show?
I'd give it a solid 4.
That's where I fell on.
Yeah, like that's what I'm saying. Like I'm not going to give it a 5 out of 5 because like not every match was a banger. You did get through 6 matches in 2 hours, and there was a lot of like cool. You had Karl Anderson on the show. That kind of is like a negative 1 straight away there.
Yeah, that match alone.
But yeah, that's
you got the cool debut.
You know what I mean? Like
an absolute banger singles match. Your solid main event. epic fatal,
Yeah.
fatal 4-way. Really cool junior tag match. That was enough. Everything else is kind of just there.
And it brought back the spirit of New Japan. It brought back the spirit as to why when people
watch
go,
Wrestle Kingdom.
what the?
Why are you getting up at 1 a.m.
Yeah.
on
Why are you
January 4th, whatever day that happens to
Yeah.
be?
Yeah. Why are you getting up January 3rd at 6 a.m. and at 2 a.m. in the morning or whatever? Like, why would you bother doing this? And why would you invest in a product that, for the most part, you got no idea what is going on because only a little bits of it, most of it's now translated, but there's still language barriers. And it reminded me, and like I said, I was happy to just unsubscribe at the end of the month. That's it. Maybe watch some old matches, but unsubscribe. But I'll probably let it roll for
It's
a bit.
annoying that Battle in the Valley isn't included.
Yeah,
the one thing that annoys me about the
that
US
is quite
shows.
annoying.
All the US shows are not included
exactly.
in World.
It's like,
why? You get them late.
You either you cough up your $40, or you find your alternative streaming services.
It's a New Japan show. It should just be in World.
Yeah, you want us to watch this stuff?
Yeah.
Let us watch it. Like, I understand. Hey, pay locker for the Americans. Make them pay.
Yeah,
at the end of the, I'm not
encourage them to actually just go to the show.
I'm not paying. Yeah, or it's like, no, this is on 8 o'clock at night for you guys. There's no excuse for you not to watch it. Versus, hey, this is on a Saturday afternoon or a Tuesday arvo for you guys. Okay, cool. We understand why you're probably not going to drop the money on it to watch it live.
It's just every time they've ran a US show and it's been not included in World, but you get it like 30 days later or something. Like, this is just weird. So
yeah, which is kind of like the Honor Club drama with to be on Honor Club within 60 days.
I'm holding off on Honor Club until we find out what the weekly Ring of Honor show is, and then I'll probably do like a 6 month or a couple of months and see how it is and if I stick with it or not.
Yeah, I don't have to pay for the WWE Network anymore because it's on Foxtel, so that helps me out a bit. Kind of a little bit sucks, but at least I have my $15 or $16 or $17, depending on the exchange rate of month, free to blow on the. You got to be loving that 68 cents at the moment.
Yeah, loving it. Thanks. Yeah, great. Probably just as good for the
good
pound.
Oh, what do you mean? I only just realized that. Yeah, well, that's just normal. I just go I literally me and Louise are booking things, and it's like, oh, this hotel's $200. That's $400 Australian.
That's what I do in the US.
Yeah, no, it's
less,
not.
I'm like, oh, sweet. Both.
Yeah, but that's it. She's like, you're so wrong. I'm like, no, it's Adam. It's 50 cents. It's 56 cents. It cost us $350. $50. Okay, yeah, I'm a little bit off.
At least I'm.
I'm not
under-preparing. I'm over-preparing.
So, this, again, you need to know how bad I am with geography and just real life stuff. I didn't realize that Ireland uses the euro. Mm-hmm. So I have to use because I'm doing Northern Ireland, then mainland Ireland for St. Patrick's Day. And I'm really hoping Scrapple Mania's on that time, even though Louisa has instituted a very strict, we are not going for wrestling, we're going for a holiday.
You did ruin a whole birthday last
a lot of yeah. Didn't ruin it. It just happened that we happened to be in, that was a good coincidence. I tried that this year and she didn't fall for it. I'm kind of hoping Scrapple Mania's on, but I've got to have two different currencies, which is a bit of an annoyance. And then it's like the euro's different conversion rate to the pound, so I can't just base everything off an average of it's 55 cents on the dollar. It's this one's a little bit different, and it's like so that's my fun I have to deal with now is trying to learn new exchange rates and time zones.
We will let you get to that. Thank you everyone for listening to the commentary booth. If you enjoyed the show, please remember to rate, review, and subscribe on podcast services and on YouTube. You can follow Jason on Twitter at JasonWookie with 2 E's. And you can follow me on social media at JamieUpMedia and at Pario Magazine. Thanks for jumping on for another ridiculously long wrestling review episode.
Don't you love it when I come on these?
You and Chris Fresh, we just go off.
Yeah, I actually tried my best this time to be like, focus. And I'm seeing the timer in the corner, and I'm like, we've hit 2 hours and we haven't talked about Okada yet. Shit.
People will love it. The Commentary Booth is a fan-funded production of Jamie Apps Media. You can support the podcast alongside our magazine, Pario Magazine, on Patreon at patreon.com/Jamie Apps Media. The following people supported at the publisher level or higher, and you cannot fathom how incredibly appreciative we are for their support.